in the lobby.
They've been my big surprise of the top 8 so far through the survival stages, the Philippines, right? They're not a team that, or names that get themselves tons of international traction, tons of exposure there, but they have definitely been able to deliver so far. And they're not afraid of taking these early fights as well, which is good for them, because it is really paying off. And not only were they getting the res on Gatka, but I think they were also waiting on that side of the circle just to see if M2 was going to be coming in a little bit behind them.
I think that Malaysia Solo managed to go back and pick up a couple of the blue chips. Or at least he went over there next to him. We'll have to see if he can get any reses back. So timing on this is going to be really awkward as we're about to move into our next circle. The circle itself is pretty calm. As you can see, it is still going to be Australia pretty close to center. Ukraine's just going to be playing the hillside over into this kind of southeastern area around that. Circle just stays pretty much centered up. Add in a red zone on top of it, and it's pretty much just a donut as everybody else on the outside's got to fight their way in. Most notoriously, you can see it's going to be Chinese Taipei, India, and Canada all stacked up on top of each other.
Yeah, the red zone before that was really weird. It was like south of Kameshki, and normally it's kind of spawning towards players and stuff like that in these kinds of settings, but anyway, yeah, on with Denmark here. Fun fact, if Denmark reaches grand finals, Avenger will shave his eyebrows. Oh, that's nice.
That's good. That's a great birthday present, in my opinion.
I love that fact. Yeah, okay, Avenger, shaving your eyebrows. Love it.
Catch eyes on rotations here as Kazakhstan's going to be tailing right back behind Chinese Taipei. Japan's got some vision on this, not going to make too much of a commitment to follow through. Canada looks like they're going to be coming in right back behind India, who is following back behind Kazakhstan. So this is just the corridor of approach that everybody's going to be going for, and it's the hillsides that lead into the eastern side of Pachinki. Problems is, that's already where Aussies are going to be set up at, and Ukrainians are going to be on the other side of it. So this is just very contained.
There's Ermac here, looking to do his daughter proud and seeing what he can get done. Of course, just about to turn 1. Lovely fact there for Ermac, but going up against Chinese Taipei might be a little bit difficult. Scav does run into Captain on this side as well, though, as damage has been done, but it's actually Neutral that's more embroiled in this fight. Finland's kind of lurking on the wings of this fight, and maybe looking to clean it up as time goes on, but we move back over to Chinese Taipei, who's trying to deal with India breaching on this position.
Yeah, India didn't have too many other options. They just had to make landfall on top of it. Translucent is going to go down. Chinese Taipei is the defender in this position, as we did see India just make the crash in. No third or fourth party happening just yet, but it does look like Vex has at least taken a couple of shots over at Snipal. Force India back over onto the other side of this. So India's got to be forced on angle of approach right here, but Canada's going to be back behind him and Savior spots out Snipal.
Yeah, not bad at all. Let's see if we can get done here. Once again, needs to reload, get this good to go here and fight this down. Snipal down with this means that now, the problem is that technically there's a world where somebody just gets knocked from red zone as well. So they're really kind of hugging some of these buildings at the moment, just knowing that they need to be inside and good to go. But with this hold here from Chinese Taipei, India's had little to no response against it.
I felt like that's maybe what Snipal was trying to set up with the glider coming back in, but Great Britain is just pummeling damage on any form of rotate over onto that more eastern side of this. That's contained anything that India was wanting to try to set up on their approach. Chinese Taipei now knows the exact angle of defense that they need to set up. And I mean, it's a 4v2. What do you do from that stage? You've got to hit the shots out, but India just can't find a way to make it work.
No, stuck. Really stuck at the moment, unless they get themselves some decent nades off, a decent Panzerfaust against the wall where somebody might be just kind of peeking out from, get things going. In fact, you can see in the distance, raining down a few shots here from that warehouse compound that actually Great Britain might now group up on, right? They had a 2-2 split on that south side, and it will be a perfect position for T-Bone to just rendezvous on forwards, unless they want to try and deny anybody coming around that south rotate, which is something that they oftentimes will do with a 2-2 split, which might work on the cliffside. We'll see, though.
Here comes Malaysia. They're going to have to try to get some looting and get back in position. Looks like Pachinki is going to be the point that they're going to drop for. Great Britain is going for that southern defense of Peninsula. I do like that quite a bit. Other side of this, you can see that Turkey's got to make a rotate, and it's going to be right next to Denmark. I don't know how much further into this they're going to go. There are a couple little dips that could provide some safety, but they're going to start moving into a lot more hazardous of territory. But being a bit more bold has paid off, as at least they can manage to get into a center point. Here's the Philippines on their rotate. They run right into the crossfire on that valley, and man, it's Canada one side, Chinese Taipei on the other, Kazakhstan full gatekeeping them out. Nowhere to go, and now where do the Philippines try to rotate to?
Yeah, it's a good question. It is a good question. And also one of the changes that we didn't mention coming into PNC, obviously we talked about, you know, land ratio on these circles, but also now you get red zones into phase 3 as well, compared to just into phase 2. So technically speaking, with Great Britain having yet another red zone on them, like the Blitz down here, they're going to have to get into some cover and make sure they don't get knocked on like a solo position.
Hey, how good is the bounce on the nade? The angle goes a little bit far. Does it get the knock? Chinese Taipei playing aggressive. They've got the shotties in hand, want to go after it. We also do have the Philippines that's kind of watching what's going on over here, but now they're going to have Finland that rolls up on top of them, so a lot of danger in this area. Rolls right up, and that is going to be some great shots. More points stacking up for the Philippines.
Man, they're firing on all cylinders right now, as much as they don't have themselves that fourth member online and good to go here. CJ, though, cleans up a lot of what Finland wants to throw at them, and it was just an absolute rocket pass to try and make something work for Finland. Coming in late, now they really don't have many more places to actually go. They might just try and bob and weave through the middle of all of this. Meanwhile, still we are stuck here with Chinese Taipei and India in this compound, and if you can hear a siren in the background of mine, it's not the red zone, it's just a fire station close by. Oh, and it's going to need a fire station to come out to be able to save some of this. Panzerfaust goes out against Ryzen there, and Zeno does go down.
Yeah, it is just now Ryzen. The only one up as Finland gets eliminated at range. Philippines hear this. They want to get involved. Oh, they catch a bad bounce on the vehicle coming in. Can they keep their players up and alive? One does go down. But Chinese Taipei has had to shift their attention over. That kind of contains a 1v1 on the India side with Ryzen.
Oh, what a disaster that bounce was. If that hadn't happened, suddenly you're way quicker hitting this compound. So now Chinese Taipei, though, they're still doing a pretty good job of holding this down. They're taking casualties, yes, but they've got a few kills off the back of it. Now the circle shifts, and it goes towards Ukraine home turf. Oh, dear.
Oh, that is going to be Turkey defending up to the north, Norway on the other side of it. Everybody coming out of Pachinki and the hillsides in a lot of trouble. Neutral's got the right idea. Just leapfrog it all, use an emergency pickup, get away from Denmark. But Denmark does have some high ground that can make that a lot more dangerous. Philippines now firmly pushing into the buildings. Gotta be careful as Chinese Taipei starting to try to right up, get all of their reses going. Ryzen holding the stairwell, does get the knock on to one. Wants to go for the flush. Any point matters, but that's going to cost him the follow-up. He is going to go down.
An elongated fight for sure. Now still the Philippines here now sat on this position to try and kind of clean up a little bit more of it. And you see Kazakhstan on the south side, but oh my, well, we didn't see that. But that was swift.
That is another early out for Turkey. So, I mean, they're still holding decent on the overall points. They should be fine. Philippines making the commitment onto this is just going for more kill points. This is not inside the circle. This is just Philippines realizing the next rotate could be pretty bad. So just committing in. Japan also making a rotate right next to Argentina while this is going on. So that's going to be popping off in the kill feed.
Oh, indeed. Ooh, this is getting a bit spicy now. Hot and bothered me at the moment here. It's hot in Poland and it's getting hot on the Battlegrounds. As Savior still trying to find another opportunity. Alec down. Philippines has really made a meal of this. I think with their current trajectory, they're going to be in the top 8, no problem. But they're constantly battling over and over. They are down to 1, but they've got themselves 6 kills. Likewise, Japan now, though, don't think they're going to be making that top 8 anytime soon. Michael gets them and catches them with another grenade. Great Britain is also making a bit of a run for it. Admittedly, the circle's been kind to them this time, though, having that south position side on this road.
Yeah, the 2-2 split that they're holding down is very strong. Kazakhstan has managed to rotate back behind them. Denmark's going to go for a much safer rotate, and I like this. This is very well scouted and very well read. Going from that northern area, wrapping down to the more central approach into the east. That's going to buy them a lot more space, as it does look like Malaysia's going to make landfall, find themselves a shack, and this is pretty much where they're going to live, as there is nothing else that they can get involved in. Other squads that we do need to keep an eye on is going to be Australia needing to rotate, as the Philippines do get eliminated, and it is going to be Chinese Taipei that do finally end up winning that, and the defense stays strong.
I'm going to be real, Matt Trim. Did you have on your bingo card that Malaysia was going to outlast Philippines in this game?
No. This has gotten just a wild off the start.
That is mental. But anyway, we've got Australia here trying to make something happen against Neutral up on that north side at the moment. Trying to find an entry point against the position there, but Neutral should be holding this down strong as Lou does connect with an aid straight away. Flood responds in kind against Levante. But I still think Neutral has a better position here. The smokes are going to be able to cordon off some of the aggression coming their way, thanks to the fact that they can hold down on this. Hey, Canada, yeah, for that third party potentially in the match room.
Coming up, trying to backstab Australia in a ton of trouble. They either have to push into neutral or defend against Canada, and it's going to be Ukraine that's going to be gatekeeping all this. Norway is on the other side of neutral now. This has turned into a full four-way firefight with the potential of a fifth team getting involved. Nades raining down on top of the Aussies, and there is not much else that they can do. Luckily, they are on this hillside, and the nades roll just a bit too far from Canada. Canada not getting the knocks that they really want to continue. Finally, do manage to get one onto Luke 12.
A lot have been slightly miscooked as well, which means that they're going to be expending more nades than they should have to be, considering those exact smoke positions. It's a minor thing here, but it could have huge ramifications later on in the game if they need more nades, because this has been a lot expended for currently what is just one knock from them at the moment. On the other side of things, Michael did post a nade through on that shack, I believe, against Malaysia, trying to weed them out, and Ukraine was able to weed some of that out too. But K-Mind, he's throwing now smokes against them as well. Here, I think that will provide them a little bit of coverage, but at the same time, you should be able to clean this up now, knowing how much damage has been done.
They are just throwing any and everything that they've got on top of them. The Aussies have managed to hold out long enough to make it complicated for Canada, because now neutral, they kind of shifted over to deal with Norway. It looks like they've got more breathing room. Batulin's has gone down. Canada has to figure out how much more of a commitment that they want to take into a doozy, and Lou on the high side of it. They're coming back down, full-on rampage from neutral. They want to eliminate Canada as quick as possible, but can't connect the way that they want. Have to retreat the angle, and Canada doesn't like it. They are out of this as fast as they can get.
100%. Canada being there and not having any more nades, especially, like I was talking about earlier, is going to be difficult. You can throw nades, you can smokes, you can throw maple syrup, you can throw milk in bags. I don't care what you've got, Canada, at this point. You're going to have to try and do something and get out of dodge. But you do have a knock. At least you might be able to recover that here. And actually, Canada's 10 has worn out that situation.
I mean, Canada is at 6 kills right now. This is the best that we've seen them doing. So if it's just a whole bunch of nades, at least it's something. Now they've got vision on to where neutral is going to be coming into the circle. But it is, again, a doozy and Lou trying to brute force their way right next to K-Mine and Adam. Can they get the good angles onto it? A doozy does go down. Now just down to Lou as neutral just doesn't seem like they have a path into the circle, just trapped out in the blue.
Yeah, this is working out. This is actually working out. Good stuff by Canada. Maybe this is their redemption arc. 7 kills so far. Meanwhile, on the other side of things here, Denmark still doing what Denmark does, which is just killing a lot of things, as Gustav and Beanie just laying low here for the moment on the east side of this circle. Try and find themselves a decent way in further.
Notice the fact that we've got Kazakhstan that's still holding down the peninsula high ground. So they do have vision over where Great Britain's at, kind of as well with Denmark and Malaysia. So it's mostly them having control of the south, where it's going to be Ukraine up to the north. Circle pops. It's really going to be that Malaysian kind of shack area where Argentina is going to be hunkered down inside their dip. And how does Ukraine want to approach this? They know that Canada's on one side. Do they wrap over there, or do they go ahead and go for the full wrap onto Denmark?
It's a tough one, this circle, right? As we're just trying to dislodge some of these solos and other players like He-Man for Norway. Now, double blue on him, he should be gone. You can't heal through that. Good job by Diffex. We'll see M249 shots in at the end. But it's deceptively flat is this ending. And unless you're actually digging yourself some dips here and there, it's going to be difficult. Gustav does get caught by that molly here from Great Britain, but they're trying to get that res off. So that will delay them a little bit. And Great Britain's been picked apart quite a sizable chunk here, and now against the circle.
Denmark making the full push. They're running right up into the smokes, and Great Britain realizes it, retreats to the trees, gets a little bit more cover to work with. Gustav, I think, just going and listening for footsteps, knows the fact that somebody's going to be playing other side of this hill. Very well set up in the defensive lines. Aggression comes out. Denmark just rolls through the other side of it. But Great Britain does have some high ground defenders as well, with Kazakhstan back behind him, making it a bit more complicated. Denmark just still trying to go for the foot push, but Vex just in a great defendable position. All the information getting fed over. Doesn't have much HP, but it doesn't matter. Vex gets another one.
You don't see too many players navigating towards the ace at the moment. It's normally a lot of orgs, a lot of barrels, etc. and things like that. But Vex is making it work here against Denmark of all teams trying to go for that wraparound. So been a bit of a salvage game here for Great Britain. But one thing that's important, this is the first time they've been in the top 8 so far here. So they're doing something right, and Beanie goes down as well. Vex, the Welsh Dragon, coming out strong.
All right, Vex got to get into the circle. Already has Michael in there, so Great Britain on a big climb, and it's coming at the cost of Australia, who's just been sliding down the leaderboard, presently in 10th place now. It is just so neck and neck between all those guys right at the cusp position. Ukraine Of course, why not? Plenty of time to work with. They've got themselves a dip. Let's go ahead and throw some mortars in, and it's just going to make everything more complicated for everybody else as the guys on top are just feasting.
I think they're maybe eyeing at Argentina, though, trying to create their own dips. And yes, DraftKings will go down. That was picture perfect, basically, to be able to get that instant elimination against them. And now Fairest. Oh my days. Did he move into the crater? Is he sat exactly where he is? He's got to get
I don't think he'd go anywhere else. I think he's just trapped there because Kazakhstan's shooting from the other side. I mean, he's just kind of... goes a little bit far, so at least some cover to be had, but I don't know what you can really do. At least manage to get a knock onto one.
At least a good chance, as now still Canada still alive, trying to find some knocks. 2-1-0 down here. The substitute in for Kazakhstan, who initially was on the starting roster. Hobber was technically the coach. He came in. They're juking and jiving all around here. They are on that south side of the circle. They have still a little bit of play here for this one, but again, deceptively open a circle like this, especially with that road running through the middle here. So you're going to need your nades to be able to kind of make some artificial dips. You're going to need some of these foldable shields down the line, unless you're Ukraine and you just make a car for and win the game again.
Well, the big problem is there's a touch of high ground, and Canada is going to be playing it. Ukraine wants it because Ukraine wants everything. And so they are going to rotate right up on top of Canada. Can you defend? Adam gets one, but that was all they got. Ukraine just runs in and steals it, not even making it look scary.
This is like that. This is like a bully with a magnifying glass with ants, like just frying them. This is awful. Like Ukraine is so far ahead. 10 kills in this game as well. They could have quite easily won the last game, and now they're on trajectory to win another game.
I mean, I'm just having like the Simpsons meme pop in my head with it's Ukraine and the rest of the lobby, and it's like, stop, he's already dead.
Yeah.
It is just Ukraine now, high ground. You mentioned a super flat circle, and now you get to see it from Ukraine perspective.
Oh, no.
Argentina still got one up in it, but Malaysia still alive, trying to get in the circle other side. Fairest is going to say no. Shin goes down yet again as Great Britain now going to line up against Kazakhstan a little bit. That's going to be about all that's going on. Is it's just, can Malaysia get into the circle?
At least if you'd have got that knock on Fairest, it would have slightly delayed whatever Ukraine wants to do, but no, he survives on 2 HP as well. With the MK14 in hand, they've got a great arsenal to be able to finish this off. They've probably got a bit of util as well, because in that compound before, aside from the hold against Turkey, they didn't really have many other trespassers onto their position. So yeah, this is looking grim for the rest of the lobby once again here as Hakatori starts shooting the way at Kazakhstan. And now MK14 in the hands of Fairest takes down Shen. Malaysia still alive somehow.
Hey, respect though. Kazakhstan managed to find kind of a sneaky angle of approach. At least got a foothold in. They do get instantly knocked. The follow-up is it does finally mean Malaysia, after all of their reses and all of their work, finally goes down in 5th place though.
It's unfair. Stop. Turn the cameras off. This is not safe for work. Ukraine is on 114 points in Game 7 of the survival stage here for PNC. And Hakatori takes down Michael. All right. Everybody else needs to ally against Ukraine somehow, some way. This is insane.
Oh, this is Argentina. Now looks like they're the new focus. All the utilities still in hand. Nade's gonna come up on top of him. Let's go ahead and make it 14. There's still 3 more kills to have and a potential victory. I say potential in the same way that you would. I don't even know. There is not even potential. It's just unless somehow Kazakhstan can do it. I don't know.
It's like there's a video of like 2 professional football players playing against 30 children, and they're just like weaving and bobbing around and all this stuff. It is just monstrous. And now once again, I am 5 down here for Kazakhstan. Only 1 member remains in 2-1-0, trying to make something work. And Fex on the opposite side of the circle. Fex did a great job this game for Great Britain, but you know, how long can that truly last?
Great Britain in 5th place right now. Big come up from these guys. The thing I'm kind of thinking about right now is, do the 2 solos surrender it to Blue Zone, or do they still fight against Ukraine? It's not like you really have to worry about feeding them points. Everything's kind of fine on that right now. I just don't even know if Ukraine's going to let it happen. Fairness is making a run right up into Fex's face. Kaza doesn't have anywhere that he can go. Divex is going to get him, so Fex, all right. I mean, it's all Ukraine right up in front of you. Runs forward, does get the knock on 1. Another point is big and tries to run out to the blue zone.
Nice.
He does surrender it. Big game, but of course, it is Ukraine that takes it.
And they are all smiles as well. Who? How do you frame this? This is absolutely unrelenting, unbridled dominance coming out from Ukraine. Let's talk to Gibson and Mark about this. Gibson, I can't help but find it slightly funny, but also incredibly terrifying.
Oh man, it's insane how good they've been. But what about Team UK? Another, good point game, getting in there much better than yesterday. And I think Fex was giggling away there at the end too. He got the extra placement points and he got 1 kill on the Ukraine and bolted into the blue. But things looking good for Team UK.
Yeah, no, I for some reason now agree.
Your fantasy team, you picked them today, so you're happy.
Yeah, that was maybe me, maybe not. I'm not sure. But I'm going to go with not a meme now, considering what they've been able to do, Mark. Because that was as much as Fex could have got from that situation, right? You're just looking for one knock, one finish, and then get out of dodge.
I gotta apologise to production because I was screaming at the end there.
Yeah.
Fex able to go, lads. The fact he got another point, he obviously tried to step forward and he got caught. Whee! Look at that, that is insane. That alone, that shot alone is next level. Diffix is a beast. Forget about Team UK, let's talk about that. Wow.
That was like clay pigeon shooting out of the sky.
How do they impress? Every single time I think that I've seen like how amazing the squad can be, they do something else and just dumbfound.
Yeah, that was wild. Because again, we didn't actually get to see that, so I'm glad we got the replay of it during that. That is insane stuff. And again, I mean, do we just sit here, Gibson, and glaze Ukraine for the next 10 minutes before we go to breaks?
Canada doubled their score, guys. Canada doubled their score.
I'm down if you're down, but like, I think...
Nice try.
I do want to show Canada, you know what, I'll agree, man. I'll show Canada some love. I thought they were really good. They threw 750 nades at Australia at one point and did manage to get the kill secured at the end. But it's a lot better, right? Like 4 points, was it 4 or 6 points they got yesterday? So they've got a nice little bump onto that tally today.
Yeah, no, and they were taking on some strong squads, right, Mark, from that position. I mean, the fact that you've got neutral pushing you from that kind of position, you've got Australia who's kind of pinned down in that scenario as well. It was a good third-party timing for them, just despite it not being super efficient.
It's a double up. I'll give him that. But it did feel like, as Gibson said, 101 grenades thrown to the point, and then it was like smokes and everything else trying to deny opportunities. Kind of dig deep. But it's just, is it too late at this point? Because if you're just leaving this last couple of games, it's not going to be enough to get to that cutoff line.
Yeah, you're going to need a few of those, and the track record so far hasn't looked great for them, right? But the track record's definitely looked good for Ukraine, who, once again, Diffx 1.1k damage. He'll be taking man of the match from this one, no doubt. I mean, hell, give him man of the match for that shot out of the sky alone, I think, Matchroom, for that one. That was awesome.
This is almost 3,000 damage in one game for a squad. What the absolute hell, man? That is... What do you even do against that? Like, we were trying to talk about like what's going on with Malaysia and the Philippines, but every single time Ukraine just steps in and says, nah, this is our show, everybody else just gets to play in it. And it's really just about how much can the other squads that are going to be playing in the grand finals analyze what's going on with Ukraine to figure out how to stop it.
It's a good question. At least they get a glimpse into what they're able to do, what they're able to put up. It's 26 points going the way of Ukraine. Yet again, another decent swathe of points for the United Kingdom. Mark, are they going to qualify in top 8? Because right now it looks like it.
Yeah, I think UK will work their way through. They're a second-day team, clearly. They need to qualify, though. I think it's who can avoid Ukraine at this point and try and qualify their way through. I'm concerned as well about some of the other teams that are starting to drop down. And neutral, they did try to make that push, go back to that point on Canada. They were one of the ones that were trying to take the kills and the steals away from Canada. But unfortunately for them, they're dropping places. Like neutral coming in at 5th in the last game, they're now down to 7th.
Yeah, do we have to be concerned about neutral, Gibson? Because this, if you look at Fantasy, I think the highest priced team in survival, obviously with huge expectations on their shoulders, and 7th doesn't really reflect that.
It really doesn't, and I think you're bang on. I am worried. Like, I think there's something's not right in the team neutral camp. Like, I don't know whether, you look at the roster, yes, they're superstars, but the roles just don't really work for the team that they have, and I feel like maybe there's some discourse when it comes to comms and decision making when you've got so many players who are used to being the shot caller, but a lot of people, myself included, are not in a good space on fantasy because of the way Neutral have been playing today.
Yeah, no doubt. I actually swapped them off my fantasy because I wasn't totally convinced by what they brought yesterday. Yes, they were in that top 8, but it wasn't looking great. But anyway, gentlemen, we are going to go to a break when we return. There is only 3 more games remaining for the survival stage.
You're drunk.
Hello everyone, welcome to a sit-down game time with Bella, and with me is Team Canada. Woo! Do you guys know would you like to sing your national anthem for us?
Good.
We can
Yeah?
do it.
Can you do it?
Got it.
This is an
I
opening.
ain't sure
All
I'm
right.
familiar with it.
Oh, Canada, our home.
Thank you for sharing that beautiful moment with us. Today, we will be playing charades. And who would be our charader then? Is that your choice, or?
No, I'm being forced to.
Oh, okay. Team USA, quote unquote, said Team Canada will suck. They will get 5.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
insane.
they don't know Shin Boy. He's got the moves. 3, 2, 1, go.
Deodorant.
Body spray.
Perfume.
Ooh.
You're drunk. You're drinking beer. Sloshed. Soju.
Beer. Drinking.
Yeah, you get 2 passes.
Oh wow. What the heck?
Window washing. Miming.
Mime. Miming, yeah, that's good.
Chugging.
Jigging,
Drinking. Drinking water.
thirsty. Next.
Okay.
Cowboy,
Spot on.
Western,
Yeah.
cowboy.
Surfing.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. Oh, damn, that was quick.
Spaghetti. Eating.
Cereal.
Noodles.
Some smart.
Yeah. Thumbs up.
It's kebab.
Kebab?
Kebab. It's impossible.
Why are you using a spoon?
That can't be real. Huh? Damn.
Guys, I hate to break it to you, but Team USA was right.
Yeah, we
That
still
was
got
5.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
unfortunate.
All right, well, thank you for joining me, Team Canada. Wave the thing. Bye, Team Canada.
There it is, the Google Play Point. These points get you more than a high score. Play, earn, and redeem them for exclusive rewards that supercharge your gameplay. Or score the latest must-have gear and up your game with sweet accessories. You're already winning. Now go get the rewards with Google Play Points. Redeem now and go reward yourself.
Fueled by the same passion as esports athletes, Zowie continuously develops tailored products, empowering gamers to bring their best out. Today, we are launching the all-new XL2566X Plus, which uses the newly developed Fast TN panel and upgraded Diac2 technology. The new monitor series continue to evolve, refining details to ensure players can perform their best consistently in games.
현장에 오시는 분들은 장충체육관에서 배틀그라운드 세계관을 만끽하며 마치 펍지 테마파크에 온 듯한 분위기를 만나실 수 있고요.
PNC 2016에서 처음 선보이는 펍지 판타지는 여러분이 직접 자신만의 로스터를 구성해 전 세계 팬들과 경쟁하는 컨텐츠예요. 보는 재미를 넘어 참여하며 즐기는 새로운 e스포츠 경험을 하실 수 있습니다.
이번 PNC에는 24개 국가의 최고의 선수들이 모였습니다. 이들이 각자의 개성을 살려 어떤 생존 드라마를 만들어낼지 기대됩니다.
전 세계 팬분들이 펍지라는 이름 아래 자부심을 느끼는 PNC가 되었으면 좋겠습니다.
10주년도 그 이후도 실망시켜드리지 않으려고 열심히 준비하고 있어요.
유저분들이 언제나 새로운 즐거움과 가능성을 발견할 수 있는 환경을 만드는 게 저희 역할이라고 생각해요.
저희가 더 노력해야겠다는 거, 그리고 여러분의 게임을 만들어 나가는 이 팀을 믿어주셔도 된다는 것.
펍지라는 공통 분모 아래 전 세계가 하나 되는 순간을 계속 만들어가겠습니다. 여러분과 함께 만들어갈
펍지의 다음 이야기.
PNC 2016에서
만나보세요.
games remaining here. Ukraine looks amazing here as we are back at the desk. My name's James Carroll? Question mark? But anyway, we have got ourselves the opportunity here to see them completely donk on the lobby once again. But we did actually have an interesting kind of spot brought up here, Mark, whilst we were talking in the background. It being Rondo coming up, there's a chance we could see some movement.
It's not just movement, it's the opportunity that Ukraine could potentially push neutral out, because we know they're going to drop next to each other. This is the obviously midway point and the opportunity for them to actually close them up. Neutral have dropped down, they're in 7th place, and for Team Ukraine, they've got nothing to lose now, so why not be aggressive? Why not try and deny these opportunities to players not to go to the final?
That's a good point. There is technically vulnerability there, but let's get to it. Already game A on the way. We're ready to Rondo. It is going to be Mark and Gibson to bring you the next game.
Oh, this is going to be a fun one, Mark. Rondo, I think you even made the call. You think neutral might even drop out of the top 8 going into this game, and we spoke about it. The hot drop by test track between Ukraine and neutral, there are literally more reasons for Ukraine to push aggressively early towards them than there are for them not to.
Yeah, look, and is the circle going to be a factor into it potentially? And let's wait and see. This playing path though is the south towards the north, but obviously going past Test Track and the Ox Factory, where we expect both these teams to land. It's difficult. Like, I love every one of those players on neutral, right? And they are outstanding. They are all-star. But it comes back to what we said last time. They are, on paper, one of the strongest teams on here, but for whatever reason, the synergy is not going to work. Sometimes having all the best players on one roster, unlike Ukraine, doesn't always work out, Gibson.
Well, look at it all the time. The amount of times we go into tournaments saying this team should win it, that team should win it, and it doesn't happen because the games just aren't played on paper. And Denmark have decided to join the party.
Denmark!
It looks like neutral have actually extended even further south. It's the back of that. They're going way deep in the test track. I was not expecting this.
Whoa! That is a curveball. And Denmark, they were like, Ukraine, step aside. We want to deny neutral opportunity to the final because, again, they're a team that's qualified and it's forced neutral away, it's forced neutral into a corner, and they might be closed out.
This is Martin's idea, do you think? Do you think Martin just went, guys,
100%.
we're pushing neutral?
100%. Someone call Martin, get him on the blower. It must be the coach's call.
He was just like, guys, this is a great opportunity to wipe them out now. That's just the
100%. Someone ask. James, get on the phone.
Yeah.
We need to have a coach call in. Ukraine drop not too far away. And they've gone for obviously the drop's not too far away. Denmark obviously apply a pressure. Neutral backs into a corner.
Yeah, now looking at the game last time around and how it was won, we see something. This defense flick was just nuts,
That's
right?
one.
Yeah.
Yoink! Just got the half pipe and it's deleted him. Marco didn't even land. Diffic's insane.
It's like those practice arenas that people have made, in the creation labs. It's just so easy for Ukraine at times as they're just easily able to dominate the lobby. And look, they got the win. Someone was saying, we were having a conversation, would you class them as having won nearly every map, considering they got the most points in game 1 and game 2?
I agree.
Yeah. You probably could.
I think Matt's right. I think let's count that first game as a win because they did take the points. Neutral have completely disengaged, by the way, guys. They've left the area. They've got in a car. They've gone. Denmark is chasing them down, following the same route. And obviously, we're watching Ukraine at the moment. It's first boosted. You guys are still looting, so there's no change to them. But yeah, neutral, they're running.
Could you imagine a world where going this weekend you'd say that neutral will be pushed off their drop by both Ukraine and Denmark? Like, they have no loot. They've essentially made it all the way to Yulin as they push towards Zhaotin. Like, they are not comfortable at all here, Mark. And I think
Gibson?
the team... Yes?
I was about to say, we've got news feed coming in, mate, from the production team. We get confirmation from Martin, the coach of Team Denmark. They talked about it. If they had 2 bad games today, they would make a difficult decision and they'd push. So actually, from the coach, Denmark actively hunting down Team Neutral.
You know what? I'll allow it. I would prefer to see him sub himself in at this point because they've already qualified.
Leading from the front.
Yeah, just go, Martin, go you be bait. Go be human bait. But I think, looking at the map, Mark, and kind of what's happened, right? UK dropped really early. They dropped in Tin Long. It's where they dropped in this map. The circles shifted their way. Like, they have a free rotate all the way towards Hongshan, as the nearest team to them is the Philippines, who are center of the circle. If Team UK play this right, there's another chance they could really put points on the board as Canada continue what's been a bright Couple of maps for them, up to 17 points now, but you know, look at that, they're still 15 points off it.
Still one game. We've seen that. If they can just
Yeah,
embed,
one game if
take on
Ukraine
the
weren't
power
playing.
of
One
Ukraine.
game if this team weren't there.
Come on, here we go. It's Denmark, his first versus second. Ukraine looking to try and double up their points on them. They've already pulled into the compound. Ketter's there. He's got that Panzer. BB steps out, but he steps down. Boosting 1-2. Ketter does get defix.
It's just they're bullying them. Ukraine have got 3 knocks now. It's all down to Ketter. He's got the Panzer, misses the shot with the launcher, and now they're all just corralling him into the spot. Ketter will try to throw a defensive nade, but Mark, for Denmark, this is not what they wanted. And I think this could be the game where Ukraine double Denmark's point tally.
It could be. I think it's going to happen this game. Here comes a fair party. Ukraine obviously looked for the compound. Denmark were chasing neutral, who went really far to the west. They've gone well outside the zone as they now work their way in. Argentina see towards sort of the opportunity. Ukraine is down, but without the knock, they do disengage Gibson. I think the right call there from Argentina.
Yeah, look, it's Ukraine. There was no real knocks, no real opportunity to really push on it. So I think Argentina, looking at their spot in 4th place, just go secure top 4, top 5 this game. Go get a good few points on the board and kind of have a bit more fun going into the final 2 games of the day. Finland up into 11th now after a much stronger start, but Mark, they are going to run into a bridge camp from Malaysia.
Yeah, Shen obviously leading the charge. As you wait him, doesn't need to expose just yet. Finland obviously will be looking at this going, they know there's people who dropped it over this way, but are they holding the bridge? Shen steps up, Scav though has to divert, and he goes for a full send off the bridge. Both sides though, Finland find opportunity just to find on the little island.
Opportunity missed maybe so far for Malaysia as Emp's going to step across, and Sata will manage to find one. He gets that knock, and now this is looking really bad. One team fall each, make it 2 for Malaysia now as another kill comes in from Corexi, and this is really positive. This is probably one of the worst bridge camps we've seen in a long time.
It was down to sort of Shen to get that, but great reaction speeds though from the boys. Scav diverted one side, Sata diverted the other, and Sata able to put them down. So they've got to now try and figure out how do they get across and get Scav back up, but they've got time on the clock.
Hey Mark, we got it. So Sata be how we say it, but you got to put it with a Finnish Sata. And you get the Finnish Sata. He gets it done. You want to learn some more Finnish? If you want to say, like, let's go Finland, Huva Suomi. That's what you say.
I knew that one's you.
Yeah, you're like, I'll let the Irish accent butcher the Finnish, not the English one.
Yeah, they can't be done, mate. Malaysia have disengaged now, so they give up on those blue chips as they will work their way towards the Knox factory. Finland will get the opportunity now to get those bodies back up, and it was a good hold from them.
We'll watch the game. Yeah. So
this is a dream team. Look at it. It's off the half-pipe though. Swips guns and catches him. Look. See you later.
Yeah, Code Marco had no chance there.
2
fire. Easy for defense. Actually, I wanted to say Fairest fell off last game. Only 3 kills for him in the last map.
Jeez. Again, at what point? These guys are just having fun. They're just driving up on teams wherever they want to go at any time.
Yeah, and then elsewhere around the map, you know, we've got Turkey sitting in the center of the circle. Kazakhstan are right next door to Argentina. We've seen those 2 teams go head-to-head several times. And, well, Ukraine have also made their way into the center of the circle now. But big question for you, Mark. Neutral have been forced to go, and I think it was kind of posed in the chat by James. Neutral have now been forced to do a rotate they're not used to doing outside of test track. Like, how is that going to impact them playing this map from a side that they're not used to?
I think there's 2 decision-making factors that they know teams are now hunting them, so that has to change mindset. So that wide rotation out, do they know the map? Yeah, 100% Gibson. They know how they're going to play and where they're going to come. But there's a difference now. They're not on the offensive foot. They're not the one that pressed the attack. They're in a defensive mindset. They're having to find safety. They're having to try and eke out some of these placement points. And the zone, unfortunately for them, shifts back the other way.
Yeah, Neutral are going to run right into a potential, drop if they want to get it. If they want to get themselves a crate weapon, that could help them out as Neutral, Australia, Chinese Taipei, Argentina all wrap in from this side as Finna looks to catch out Metabay from Turkey, who've been really slow off the mark so far. But Canada, they don't get the kill mark, but more importantly, they held their terrain, they held their territory, which will help them a little later on.
Also fighting around this sort of midpoint of the map. It is phase 2. Turkey taking some of the higher ground as they're positioned quite early. Ukraine coming in from that north side of them. And not too far away, obviously, is that Canada. We saw a couple of shots. Back on the other side, though, in that sort of northeast corner, Finland do enter back in towards zone. Malaysia, obviously, were disengaged, and it doesn't take long before the action to kick off.
Yeah, I was going to say I expected Argentina and Kazakhstan to at least knock heads a bit, and Emmy is able to confirm out that kill that came in from Pipa. So Argentina moving up to 51 points now as Celtic's going to get caught out by Defex. Ukraine pushing up the hill line. Menaby speaking across the other side of the Brigada. Can't get the knock onto him just yet. Dips back into cover, but Finland's third partying.
Run! Just run! You know, Diffix going to be there. Diffix actually puts out Hakatori because he wants all the kills for himself. Ferris has to be on the other side. Turkey's making the applying pressure though. Sheila comes storming over the hill and Ferris has to reposition.
Yeah, but those are great shots on the side. Capitan third partying as well, doing favours towards Ukraine as Turkey will send it back into the compound, forfeiting those two blue chips, forfeiting the opportunity to wipe out your lobby leaders. But for Ukraine, it's job done. Centre circle confirmed. You've already got some spots dug up here as well by Turkey, who were playing the position. Ukraine just imposing their will on this lobby.
It is a fear that runs across the lobby when you get pushed by Team Ukraine. Obviously, the fact that they just tried to get out of there is not an option most people want to try and look at. What I find really interesting is a lot of teams looking to try and take the third party, but they're not helping each other out. Someone is stopping the third party action. At what point do the teams go, if they're pushing Ukraine, let them be. Let's see what happens.
It's like playing Skyrim. You're just walking around minding your own business, and then the music starts and a dragon appears, because that's just Ukraine coming in to cause you problems. But anyways, they will be centre of the circle as things stand. Japan, who I feel like have been the most unlucky team in all of PUBG when it comes to rotates, as they just seem to be caught over and over and over again. They're going to be forced to go into the blue and find another way to enter, as it was Chinese Taipei pushing them back.
Yeah, they're coming in the southwest corner now, don't they? Team UK hasn't moved all the way over here. They hold the southeast. India kind of thread the needle in between these two teams. So for Chinese Taipei, they're either going to clash against Team Neutral or they're going to clash against Team India shortly.
Yeah, Chinese Taipei, though, they're going to play the edge of Hongshan, or at least leave Savior in that point, can feed information to the rest of the team. Philippines gifted by that circle, as them and Ukraine are now very close to the centre. But I'm looking at Team UK. They've moved in, they've had no pressure on them whatsoever, Mark. And with the way all the other teams have rotated in, it could be in place for another good placement point game as Australia crash Argentina.
They do. They go for the crash. Pip goes down. Neutral will find it. It's a duel of cars, though. Neutral try to find a secondary, but it does go. Pippa and DraftKing will tick, and Luke's now down.
Yeah, Flood 3 HP as well. He dips back into cover, but Australia, their chances of qualification getting lower and lower as we see a great nade from Algenbots elsewhere. He's going to get that knock on the Jeans as the Philippines push towards Norway as well.
Yeah, it's backwards and forwards. Lots of action happening as the zone shift does work his way. Monty, though, final play here from Australia. Capitan puts him down.
Yeah, jumping back on over now. Norway still fighting with Philippines. Alec and CJ trying to lead the front. You've got one player down for Norway, as He-Man's just going to go pro in the blue zone that will force them out. And here come Kazakhstan. They know that Argentina are down to one. They want some revenge, and Mark, they might just be about to get it.
This is a junkyard of cars. Capitan leaps out, but he gets put down. Kazakhstan, good play for them, good third party, and more cars just pile up.
Yeah, jumping back on over now. He-Man has fallen after a great nade from Algenbots, and Techers will try to re-push the fight back, but he does a molly right on top of him, and he's going to fall now as well. CJ getting another player dropped, and for 8C and for Norway, this might just open the door for them to fall outside the top 8.
Yeah, you can see, I think he's cutting ties with his compound now, and he's sending it south. Unfortunately, he's going to send it into an EMP zone, so he has to get the momentum on the car before it comes to a grinding halt. Fexto coming over the hills. The Welsh Dragon now causing problems, and Ainsley, he's going to fall.
Yeah, Norway down and out. Now Japan are crashing India. Translucent's going to find that first knock, giving India a bit of an advantage, but Fevin jumps across the side. Goaty's traded back, though, and now there's two players up for one team, and Fevin's the last player standing out for the other. Unforgiven's low, but this is Japan. This is a big play from them.
Look at Chinese Taipei, they're coming in as well. They want the third party. They want the points as well. India down for 2, needs to get Med back on. Japan trying to close their way in. Chinese Taipei is where their car's about to breach on over.
Yes, you've got Goni is down. It really leaves Fevin as the last player up, and India's Unforgiven and Ryzen will want to deal with them quicker rather than later.
Nice.
Zeno stealing those kills away from Japan, or from India at this point in time, as Fevin's just going to smoke off and pick up the shotty.
Yeah, look, it's really play for them. Chinese Taipei trying to take those additional points that they can. the EMP zone, really stopping these other teams moving, which is good to see. And actually, for Team UK, they wanted to try and get in the cars and also play a fair party, but unable to do so.
Yeah, shotgun now for Fevin, though. A couple of good shots could cause some problems, but he misses it. Unforgiven in India. Jump up to 2 kills, and they'll now just stay above Canada at this point in time. But Chinese Taipei surely look to make the push. And actually, UK thought about third-party Mark, but I think that circle shift might see them go back towards T-Bone.
They were in the car straight away. It was the EMP that completely stopped him. They would have been waiting for it to clear before they could get involved. For Fex, he might be able to find a way in towards zone. T-Bone's gone really far towards that east, as you can see, trying to find safety. But at what point does UK sort of collapse that? Then they're straight out here, they can get isolated and they get picked off.
Yeah, Chinese Taipei trying to thread the needle now through neutral and the Philippines as they make their way north towards Navi and Mike. I keep saying that, like, it's old habits, right? North towards Ukraine as Zeno will try to find himself a position to play. Neutral, as much as they've tried to avoid Ukraine, might just find themselves going into their waiting arms once more as Lunlun's going to get knocked.
Yeah, now they've sort of hit the kill feed as well. Kazakhstan's having a look at this. Ukraine is king of the hills at the moment, and they fought for it. They're going to rain fire down on the rest of these teams as Chinese Taipei are first to fall. Up to 10 kills. 10 kills already in this map. We're only phase number 4.
Akatori peeking down towards Kazakhstan as well, but it's just been madness here in Rondo so far. A doozy, great spray there with the AUG with the red dot. Will find IAM5. Now he's going to toss the nade over towards Ermac. The coup gives away the position, but he hops in it. He's going to get on the move, so that nade will not hit pay dirt mark, and he's going to go for the hero res.
Yeah, nice play. Nice jump actually from a doozy using the smokes to try and take a step forward, but they need to take a few more. The zone is not in their favour. Neutral looking to try and make the push forward, but Torden is though outside of the car, looks for the opportunity, shots come through, bounces the nade back, does the damage himself, and Lou able to find potentially the kill. Find his body, Lou!
He's going to get it. There we go. But the thing is, Mark, Neutral need this. They need to up the aggression with just a few maps left on the day, so they need to hunt down every single knock they get as Kazakhstan will fall. I think Hakatori, the one giving them the death blow, as another team falls. We're almost in the placement point window now, as you can see Team UK getting themselves a nice spot just beside the Philippines, between them and Malaysia. And I'm seeing Finland, who've been much better today as well, also finding a pocket of space over on that eastern side.
I'm really interested now. Ferris has found the doozy, so they know where they are. Does Team Neutral, again, just fixate and focus on this other side? Well, for now, Finland trying to send in the car. Obviously, like steel, goes through, but IXE slowly runs over. Malaysia will fall in 9th.
Yeah, another kill on the board for Finland as they now find themselves just 2 points away from getting into the top 8, and Fex looking to hold them back. Scav found in the distance, but Fex only lands 1 shot for 23 damage. And I think he just gets into cover behind that tree as the nades just push them back.
Got the guy behind taking notes with the camera. He knows the dream team here. Team UK only on 1 kill at the moment. They have got back together. Oh god, the nade was close, but Corexy just jumps away.
Yeah, Corexy with a much more gamer posture than T-Bone as well, who was sitting perfectly straight, but Defex finds a doozy as Ukraine get another. Hakatori gets Levante in neutral. Well, they're getting neutered here, Mark, if I'm being honest, making their way inside the circle, and this is their last chance dash. They're going to play this spot, but it ain't looking good for them.
Here we go, Ukraine. Look at, they're even pushing, they know they can potentially stop any more kills. Grenade will come down, smokes have to go up. It's actually coming from the Philippines, from that sort of south side. They're causing problems. And Ukraine, W key down, neutral, final 2, and Hakatori launches the grenade.
As I said, they're getting neutered here, Mark. More nades getting tossed on, and 8 damage found on the Batu, and I think the Philippines are having a little peek, a little nosy as well. They think that they can get some points. A nade from the Philippines could be great, but it forces Lou back. CJ finds the knock as Batu will trade one back onto A. 2 teams battling to try and get this last point on the neutral.
Ukraine don't need to overextend. They know another team's entered in. As long as the neutral go out for them, it doesn't matter. Torden's final player now, he's sitting in the smoke. There's only 1 smoke, so Ukraine locked in, 14 kills, looking to make it 15.
Yeah, this is not good now. Batu, the last player standing. CJ's looking over. T-Bone will pick up the kill onto India as they're going to get eliminated. And we're into the placement points now. As Fairest, he's going to toss that nade down towards Finland, who've just thought about getting involved in the action as well, but I think they see a better morsel in Turkey just beside them.
There you go. Ukraine has taken out neutral. That is 15 kills for them. Turkey looking to try and do some damage. They roll in towards this north side. Finland already here. Komarko, final player. Sata, he's in the open, but he steps out, he steps across, and he gets put down.
Yeah, Code Marco, last player up, and as you said, he's just going to smoke that one off. He wants to get this kill confirmed and get his teammate back on his feet. Marco and Shilla, the two most deadly players on this Turkey roster. Canada desperately want to get involved, but they just can't get the angles, and I think they're doing right, Mark. Don't give up the compound, because if you give it up, it allows UK a chance to backfill you.
Yeah, and UK obviously got T-Bone sort of flexing behind them, so he's kind of scouting, he's bouncing from the east to the west, he's trying to find those kills. Sata gets the information that they've got the res back up, looking to try and deliver the grenade. Correxy is there, is over the arm, not too far away, looks for the second as well. First one should get the re-knock, it does get a re-knock, and it's a Kobe coming in from Corexy.
Yeah, chance now for Finland though, Mark. They can force their way into the top 8. The explosion of the vehicle is going to hit him, it's chasing him. The car wanted it. Corexy has been flattened as that car just did not like him at all. And that moves Finland into the top 8. It's a 1 versus 1 with 2 points up for grabs in that fight, Mark. But Corexy, you're going the wrong way, my friend. Do not go towards Ukraine.
He can't drop the ball on that north side, though. For him, the south side, that high ground, is going to be dangerous. Ferris looking, but doesn't want to give up the advantage. Not just yet. How much more, apart from kills, can Team Ukraine be fed? Are they going to get another zone shift? Because if it goes back their way, which it does, they are still king of the hill.
Yeah, it's just, look, it's probably another win. Like, it's going to take something insane for Ukraine not to take the advantage. They've got the high ground, they've got the numbers, they've got 15 kills already, by the way, with still 17 players left alive in the game. This has been insane from the side. I'm looking at Team UK, Mark, like, what's their next move? Did they try to rush Philippines and try to get to that dip before them on the other side of the road? Or do you fancy them maybe pushing a little further north towards Canada and Turkey?
So I would go into that dip with the Philippines. It's going to be difficult. They have to keep an eye, but they have the opportunity to rotate around and just keep an eye on Canada, because Canada has options as well. They either come towards that next ridge up, but the solos are going to cause some problems. We know Corexy, even as a solo, is dangerous. And obviously we've got Code Marco from Turkey as well. Again, could cause some problems. So for me, Canada and Britain, it's going to be who moves first, and it might not be the best advantage.
But Mark, we're in the top 6, and the team that is top has the same amount of kills as the other 5 combined. Like, 15 kills between Turkey, UK, Philippines, Finland, and Canada. 15 kills for Ukraine. It has just been shooting fish in a barrel. Now, Code Marco, he'll set himself up a wall as Canada start creeping this way, and I feel for Canada, they need to take advantage here too, Mark. Another opportunity to get inside, you know, the top 5, building points. Like, if they get another few placement points, another few kills, they've given themselves a chance with 2 games to go.
They have chipped away at that kind of gap they had, so we'll take it. For this match 8, we are a best of 10 for the survival stage. We are coming towards the closing stages of it. We are going to end up on Togo, so expect a bit of chaos as the chaos is coming. It is Team UK. They have pushed towards that corner section, but they are applying pressure. Canada comes in a little bit forward. Michael launches the first grenade. Looking for the second, goes over the hill, not too far away, but Hakatori is reminding everyone that they're still there.
Hakatori is just like, I don't care what you're doing, I'm still getting involved. Corexy, though, you said it. Just sneaking in behind Code Marco now, who's very distracted by the Canada push. So this could be an opportunity for Finland to get those extra few points. But UK putting the fog of war down, Mark, as they push their way towards Canada.
Oh, he's actually shot over the top, though. Komarko is in the trench looking to try and get that confirmation. He's going to be disciplined, though. Has to go for the reload. Can't allow Corexy to get on his feet. Grenade comes through. Komarko entrenched and engulfed in the action.
Yeah, VAR steps over, and Canada are the first to fall, so the team with 4 players up get torn apart by the other 3 teams peeking their way. Code Marco is going to pop a first aid as he goes in behind that rock once more, trying to hold back Corexy with the stones. But what I love about this is Ukraine are just letting these teams stun each other out. They're playing for the victory here, Mark, as Code Marco and Corexy are now going to fight.
They are, and Corexy does get the better of him. So for Team Turkey, they go out in 5th place. Ukraine 16 kills now, still on the high ground, looking on towards Team UK. Hakatori trying to give T-Bone the pedicure that he desperately needs, though, but a car providing the cover.
Yeah, Hakatori, just look at the sight lines he has, Mark. It doesn't matter what perspective you're playing in, he can basically see everything that's going on over on this edge of the circle. Now, it does shift towards Philippines, which means Ukraine might have to walk a full 15-20 meters to make their way inside this next circle. But I like what Team UK are doing. They know that Ukraine are on the high ground, and they're actually trying to take the fight to them on the high ground rather than getting stuck in the bowl below. Oh.
Yeah, again, they've found this sort of plateau. So they got the read. There's another solo, and then that solo's coming around from Grex to that north side. T-Bone find the opportunity to try and stop Crex's run across the open terrain. For Crexy, he's just got to go head to head here. He's got to try and get another knock. He's got to try and be as disruptive as he can. The Team UK, they are locked in. What fears is Hakatori is going to get the final blow.
You can't take a knock. If Corexi manages to get a knock at all, that's going to be the signal for either Philippines or Ukraine to make their move towards Team UK. Now, one player is going to hop on out, so they leave one in the smoke, and they try to cause a distraction as the rest go across the road. Fex, the Welsh wizard, he's going to not even get it, denied by the blue as Finland fall, and now UK make their way towards Hakatori.
Charge! Keep going up the hill. They find themselves in the top four again. For our Team Ukraine, they have left the high ground. They are applying pressure now as they will send it down full force towards the Philippines. It's a 4 versus 4 versus 3, and Team Ukraine are still up in there fighting.
4 kills apiece for each of the 4 members of Team Ukraine now as they look to just continue enforcing their will in the lobby. Philippines, they've got Algin bots way down to the south, playing on the edge just on this corner of that compound and that side of the road as the nades are going to get tossed down by Ferris. And the one thing I can say about Ukraine, Mark, is they don't really have a lot of utility left as far as explosive. They've got plenty of smokes, but they've already used so many nades.
I just like the consistency that Ukraine's got 4 kills apiece. Now they come for the full charge. Hakatori! He gets an opening here. The Philippines have to move.
You gotta get these.
The high ground.
Yes,
gets one. Var gets the second. UK leading it from the high ground.
Yeah, Ukraine down to 2 now. This is a big opportunity for the UK to really secure their spot into the weekend as CJ tosses the nade over towards the blue. Ukraine looking like it's all falling apart now for them in this map. CJ can't quite land the shots. The smoke providing cover, Mark, but the nollie will be tossed. And that might be its time for Philippines to get the res.
W key down. Come on, Team United Kingdom. We need to convert up. Philippines will fall, though. This falls in the hands of Team Ukraine. It goes over the top. 6 kills on the board here. Ukraine looks to try and close things, but they are closed up against the blue zone.
They're not done yet, though. It's a 2 versus 4, but they've got so much damage being put on. They get the knock on the T-bone. 3 versus 2 now. The rest of the UK wrapping up onto the high ground as Vard misses the opportunity to find the knock, but this is a big chance for Ukraine to still fight back.
Yeah, Michael looks for the other angle now. He rotates his way around. The grenade comes up on the other side. Bard on the hold. Ferris is there. He takes huge amounts of damage. Hakatori. Oh my god, puts Bard down. It's a 2 versus 2, but no. Fex is there to answer.
Yeah, Ferris, he's got 28 health points. He doesn't have the time or the space to go for that med kit, so he's going to toss it in. Maybe buy himself some more time. You can see Michael has the angle, but he's going to pop now. Go prone. Give himself some cover. Fex wrapping on the other side, but the smoke just keeping him hidden for now. Ferris in the 1v2. Ferris is going to step on up here, Mark. Ferris gets another, and it's a 1v1 for the win.
Oh my god, the Welsh Dragon has to go back. He hasn't got a helmet. He swaps over though. Ferris limited as well. Doesn't have the vest, but a 1 versus 1 in the end. The opportunity though is he can go get the res if he needs to. The Welsh Dragon, he takes a breather and takes the opportunity now to get the IGL back into the fight.
And now if you get yourself back up to it too, the most important thing for Team UK is to not line up.
He's got it.
Don't play in each other's pockets though. If you play in each other's pockets, you give the chance to Ferris. Ferris goes to 1 HP.
Yes!
He falls, and the UK take the win.
UK take the win. It's 9 kills and 19-point game here. And James, Matt come back in. But more importantly, James, cue the music. It's a UK win.
Rule Britannia! Sorry, I'll stop. That is, I can't believe it. What's happened? Well, where was this Great Britain yesterday? That is spectacular stuff. And going up against Ukraine in the very final moments here, Matcham, who had 20 kills. What a game of Rondo.
Oh, Ukraine, what can you even do to stop these guys? Apparently, if they just drive down a hillside, jump on top of another squad, then UK gets an opportunity to take it, because Ukraine off the start of this one, it felt like everybody was after neutral, but Denmark and Ukraine just ended up going after each other.
yeah, people seem to be forgetting who is able to conquer the world. All right, it was great. We're a bit useless now, but it was Great Britain once upon a time. That's right. We've Gibson. This is. I will say there was a moment there towards the end where I was like, Great Britain's going to flub this because they're against Ukraine.
They tried to. They tried to throw it a couple of times, but the Res came in clutch at the end. Look, as an Irish person, I'm conflicted. Like, I really like the players, but it's so hard for me to be happy about that UK win, but I am. Like, they played it well. They did a fantastic job, but I'm going to be honest, Matt. In all that madness between Ukraine and, you know, the UK, there's so many other subplots happening now. Like, even Denmark are pushing to wipe neutral out.
I mean, we've got so many things on the rise. Philippines have been extremely consistent today, on a climb of themselves, making sure to secure themselves a good overall position on the leaderboard. A couple of other independent climbs are happening across this. You can see also a slide coming out because Australia has been just having like a struggle bus going on. Malaysia, even with Shin trying to set up bridge cams and trying to as much take the rest of the squad on his shoulders, just can't seem to find it. Instead, it's been all about consistency against everything else going on around Ukraine. And United Kingdom just on a massive come up, creeping up and stealing 4th place now, Jake.
I mean, this kind of win is probably going to secure them top 8, right? With only 2 more games remaining, this is massive for Great Britain after looking back. I'll put my flag back on, actually, whilst we're doing this segment. That's fine. Unbelievable, realistically speaking, because I genuinely thought, Mark, they were down and out yesterday. I didn't know whether they were going to be able to recover. But here they are in all their glory.
Yeah, I was with you. It didn't see it. They had to get past that kind of early game, and it wasn't happening for them yesterday. Today is a bit of a desperate attempt, but it's worked out. They've got a couple of zones, they've got some kills, and more importantly, you can start to build the momentum. And as a result, they haven't climbed the leaderboard.
But we would be remiss if we did not talk about the fact that, well, let's take a look at the numbers here for Great Britain, give them their flowers, and then talk about Ukraine again, because, you know, they're crazy. But Fex with 759 damage. The problem is, though, Gibson, I think as much as he's been able to put that up, I think Hakatori is going to be taking him out of the match. Whoa.
It could be any, but I think Hakatori ended with 7 kills, was it, in the end? 8 kills. He was nuts. And look, you know, I'm a fan, though. I'm glad we started giving the MVP to the most impactful player. Not, never mind, you know, never mind giving it to someone who wins. So I'm happy. Hakatori, 8 kills and less than 800 damage. But the kid's insane.
Yeah, just monstrous, Mark, looking at how they were playing that out. They had like 15 kills whilst they're on the high ground. Still plenty to actually play in for again as well. I think that I've spoken to a few people even throughout the day today that are off this broadcast right now, and a lot of people are just saying, Ukraine's going to win this tournament. It's not just the survival stage. If they're playing like this, they are going to win this tournament.
Yeah, I'm with you. Definitely be in the fantasy pick for the finals, and no doubt, obviously, they are sitting at the top here. And do you know what? Actually, I was quite surprised. One, let's go back to the very beginning. Denmark jumping in, and actually, they took the fight. Ukraine didn't. They stayed to their game plan. They wanted to go for the drop. They went for the cars. They went for the loot, and they weren't deterred to try and take it away. It was Denmark that inserted themselves then into try and take out Team Neutral. Didn't quite work out for them, but actually, really like the discipline that we're seeing from this team.
Well, I also want to do a quick jump in just because I want to talk about Finland. Finland has been on a consistent rise today and now has touched up, gotten into that 8th place position. Sure, it's great. Ukraine, you're double points of 2nd place. You're dominant, respect, we bow down. But today is also all about the top 8. And Finland has just been on a climb while a lot of other squads have just been on a slide down the leaderboard. Chinese Taipei also seeing some rally plays trying to creep up there. My eyes are really on neutral, and in these last 2 games, can they make something happen?
Yeah, I completely agree. More points. This is more dominant from Ukraine than the Made in Thailand situation over in PGS, which is insane to think about. And at the same time, they've got more points than the bottom 6 combined so far. But beyond all of that, I think our attention really does need to turn to what is going on below 8th and between that and 16th, right? Because those teams at the moment are all totally in this danger zone here, Gibson. There's big names down there. Still Australia, now not in that top 8. There's other teams that need to jostle for position here.
Yeah, I think, I just want to highlight the damage first to answer your question. Like 16,000 damage is insane, but you look at the bottom 8. I think all of us are in agreement, if we were picking our top 8 going into these 2 days, there's at least 2 or 3 teams in the bottom 8 that we thought would have been shoo-ins to make it to the weekend. So I think for like Australia, for neutral, Like, this is a really tough game. Even Norway, you maybe would have thought that more would come from them, considering how many or how big the player base is in that country. This is going to be a tough 2 maps for these teams.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I think even also if you think about, you were saying it before, Mark, the fact that Japan's win is basically the majority of their points, right? They're in 14th place, but they have a win. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, and there's that one game that it's gone back to those early games we saw yesterday. They're not getting the zones, they're unable to find their way in, they're spending more time rotating, so they're not being able to adapt to this kind of update to these hard zone shifts. UK, on the other hand, bad day number 1, spoke to T-Bone. It was about, actually, do you know what? We know that was our problem. We need to find a way into the zone or find a way to play the points. I think Japan just haven't figured that out, but I'm really intrigued because we've got 2 games left. A win, especially within a 20-point range, you're going to be putting yourself in those 30s, those high 30s, depending on kills. At what point is the cutoff at?
At least for those teams down at the bottom, the cutoff point is going to be even more severe, or close to them, because of the way in which Ukraine has been able to soak up this many points. So that, for them, gives them a bit of a lifeline. For teams like Norway, for teams like Australia as well here, Matchroom, they're just so close. Chinese Taipei as well, who's been able to get to some of these later game situations, but not quite into that top 8 just yet, but it's just in reach.
And see, what worries me is with squads like Australia, we haven't necessarily seen them trying to, like, I guess, take control over their own destiny, take the firefights or anything else like that. They're finding themselves in very awkward positions that other squads are kind of pouncing on them and just instantly wrecking them. Chinese Taipei, we've at least managed to see them rally a solid defense and a couple of crashes, so that's where we're starting to see them climb up. At this point, with 2 games left, you have to be looking at the squads that have managed to get themselves into a decent position off of their own merit.
All right, it's time for one of the classics. Time for Miramar for the penultimate game here of the survival stage. And our attention can't truly be on Ukraine anymore. We know what they're up to. They're probably going to shoot at everything. Thank you very much, Mark and Gibson. We'll talk to you after this game. It's me and Matchroom here to bring you the Dusty Dunes.
Okay, playing path, pretty much anything available. No big scary thing that's going to be going on to this. It's just going to be about how well can you dodge the rotate from Ukraine. And I think that a lot of squads are probably having to make some quick decisions based off of that because we've seen such a dominant performance coming out with Ukraine. They don't care. Even if they crash you and die, they can ruin your game. So you have to be playing not only the map, not only the circles, not only the other 14 teams other than Ukraine and yourself, but you also have to be constantly going, where does Ukraine go next and are they going to screw me over?
But that's the funny thing about that theoretical, because oftentimes, yes, we would say, even if they crash you and die, but guess what would happen because it's Ukraine? They will crash you and definitely not die. You're wiped off the map at that point. It's a meteor hitting you and you're the dinosaurs. So, like, you want none of it. Absolutely none of it. And it is one of the only times that it has almost become a true fact in these games. But look at this, the rise up from Great Britain so far here, doing so well. Here to be able, I cannot believe it. I am a little bit flabbergasted. I'll use all those silly things to describe this so far. It's crazy stuff.
Did you see the little special thing that popped up down the bottom left-hand corner was Effect says that Michael gains superpowers whenever he eats Korean fried chicken, and I'm wondering how powerful the aroma of his superpowers are.
Well, he's British, so, you know, probably quite powerful. I will say, actually, while that has been going on, Denmark taking power grid. That is cheeky. Martin and the Danish boys have been cooking something up as well on the other side. It's not some Korean fried chicken, but it might be fried neutral here at the moment. Pushing them off is... they're causing even more problems for Neutral, who clearly is a team to be respected, so I completely understand why they're doing it.
I mean, we all know the fact that Batulin's levels up the longer an event goes on. He just gains more and more experience. He finds ways to get more and more points for his team. So trying to eliminate that squad while they're not a threat is a great strategy. Whenever we also are looking at a circle like this that is very northern set, that means that Argentina is going to be kind of close to center. Oasis is just kind of off center. That gives you an idea of how far north we are going to be looking at. That means that Neutral does have some options in rotate, so even having power grid taken away, if Neutral can get there and loot fast enough, they can still be competitive.
Well, you know what's actually super interesting? And they might actually pivot mindset-wise here for a Neutral whilst we're watching these highlights go down of the previous game, but there's really interesting things happening. Neutral is going straight up, threading the needle between Chinese Taipei and Finland, and going to old cobbers, La Cabrera. And that actually is a rotation path on a circle like this, which first is just good in general. But that's actually where a doozy has a lot of experience rotating in from. So maybe they can like mind meld here and be able to have some decent purchase on a circle like this because of those kinds of experiences.
I'm curious to see if Chinese Taipei goes for any shots on this rotate, because Chinese Taipei and neutral are very close to each other. It does look like there's going to be more of a Western set coming out from Chinese Taipei. They don't want to make any commitment, but with being able to take down or do any damage to neutral actually affects their game in a big way, because it puts them back into a better position to try to climb on the leaderboards themselves. Argentina holding down center is going to make it a little bit harder for Great Britain, that just managed to usurp their position into 4th place. But it's all going to be about how this plays out, because there's a lot of verticality in the circle down into the southwest. But then if you look into the north, mostly flat around no oasis going all the way up into the wall. Over in the east, very, very flat, moving in a Cru de Valle. So this circle can do a couple of jukes depending on how it opts to go for these next couple of circle pops that can really dictate entirely different behaviors in gameplay.
Now all those teams towards the bottom here need to knock some of these barrier teams off of their purchase. As Chinese Taipei, Norway, Australia especially, it would be a shame if someone like Tiggleton and the Aussie boys weren't able to do a shoey here and there for the finals.
Center of the circle? What's going on? Well, not center of the circle, center of the map. Every single time, Oz gets center of the map. What's going on?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a tough one, right? Because like we obviously bring in some names. Obviously Monty doesn't have as much international experience. Technically, Flood and Luke 12 do, but I don't check in with guys like Flood as much anymore, right? I used to talk to him a lot about things. I don't know how much they've been playing and stuff like that. I was watching some of the scrims, or some of them playing together in terms of ranked and pubs and stuff like that, and the vibes were good. That's for sure.
Oh, can you imagine, given the way that the nature of the beast and how Falcons are, if Australia doesn't make it? Like, I don't feel as bad for Luke 12 because, like the vibes on Team Liquid, they'll be chill with each other no matter what. You know the banter on Falcons, if TIG doesn't qualify, is going to be massive this year.
It's UK level banter. It's as if they hate each other when you're watching them stream together. Like, and I think it's only got worse with Gustav on the team, actually, honestly, because he's just, well, as he likes to say vampire maxing, because that's kind of the person he is.
I've never heard that term for him before, but it's so good.
Yeah, he's a ridiculous human being, but like they're just constantly lobbing bombs at one another. It's just shell after shell. So there's a lot of banter on the Falcons roster, and yeah, you're right. It won't stop if TIG doesn't qualify for the final.
All right, Finland, what you guys got in the tank? You're in good position, pretty close to the center of the circle as well. All right, just playing offset from Argentina, running a 2-2 split. A lot of squads are already kind of cemented into position. Norway's just going to be over to the northeast of where we're looking at with Argentina. Japan actually playing a bit north of that position, while we've got Kazakhstan just off the side. Neutral playing the open areas very far up to the north, so should be comfortable for now, but also does provide some rotates. If it does, like the circle does go east, neutral does have a lot of decent rotate potential, whereas a lot of these other squads do not.
Well, as I was kind of talking about it, right, as we take a look at good old Fairist looking amazing alongside Ukraine as well. Again, with what a doozy has, no doubt the chats are going on in that team, right? Like, this is technically an old question marks rotate. When a doozy leads that team back in the day, before they were BB team, and of course, and then became Seoul. So there's a world where they are well versed up there, and if they do well from up there, I can only assume it's because of some of that knowledge, aside from just being fantastic players.
Time to be nervous. Ukraine has entered the circle. They are coming in from the southeast. Closest teams to them are Great Britain as well as Malaysia, but there is at least compounds in front of them, so might not see any firefights between them. Denmark's going to be on the other side of the road to the west, but also has some high ground control. No real need for these squads to kind of go up against each other just quite yet. Teams not inside the circle are going to be Philippines, India. Turkey's just right on the edge of it. I think they're making a rotate, and Team Canada, while the Aussies are rallying down to the south.
And here we are on with them at the moment. I won't be surprised if it's not just Denmark that's looking at neutral as someone to get rid of. I mean, you go through this roster, right? Batulins and Aduzi, two of the greatest IGL minds in EMEA history, if not the world. Lou and Levante. Lou, who is one of the greatest fraggers of EMEA history, if not the world. Levante, who really is kind of the upstart star alongside this roster as well. And every time you watch him on Vitality now, he really is their linchpin. So I think a lot of teams have got their eyes on hoping neutral doesn't make it through to the grand finals.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said by even trying to deny Levante more LAN experience or even the capabilities to work around Batulans and the rest of the squad, right? Because this is a great growth opportunity for him. Kind of figure out how these other squads navigate their IGLing, where he can find, where they want to try to put him for capabilities to really pop off. As we are finally getting all of the squads to rotate in, as India's going to be right on the edge, Canada back behind them, and it is a couple of shots going on, but I'm still eyes drawn to Ukraine as it is just sharks in the water getting closer and closer as the circle keeps up into the north and Oasis stays pretty center.
Okay, you know what's really wild about this is the fact that coming into PNC, we have those circle changes. Oasis oftentimes is a spot where, and also that northern wall, is a spot where you generally shift away from in terms of circles 4 and 8, respectively. Now, there's a world where we go crazy north on a circle like this, and who might benefit? Philippines is already going on for that wide rotate around. India's coming in behind neutral. That might be a good opportunity for them to get some points if neutral sees them moving up there. This could be a really spicy mirror map.
Ooh, Australia just rolls right up on top of Denmark. It looked like maybe Denmark was thinking about coming back after them. Everybody jumped in vehicles and started looking back to the south. So Australia, you managed to get into the circle. Denmark's going to have a pretty decent path ahead of them. It's just going to be Chinese Taipei, who's already making a movement of their own. But I agree. I love the fact that we're seeing more and more of an Oasis focus coming out of this. Getting a little bit more variance in circles is it's tons of fun to watch. But Malaysia, you in some trouble? Do you know it?
Wait, no, leave them alone. That's Great Britain. No, it's fine. I mean, they're probably going to be qualified anyway. But yeah, this is for Japan. Obviously, very important if they can maybe snag a few kills here and there. As I said when we heard the interview at the beginning of the day, we don't get too much of a glimpse of a window into the Japanese scene too much. Obviously, they get like 1 or 2 teams into what is a wider regional to be able to qualify into some of the tournaments. Like, for example, in PMS, where we had some teams qualify for EWC. But now we see India moving in below neutral. I think they're quite concerned about going for a further wrap. I think they did see players up there from neutral.
Yeah, and India and Japan both in a similar fashion where these players can come in, get a lot of LAN experience, carry that back over into their regions, help the overall growth of their regions.
Yeah.
So while there's not they are sitting not necessarily the best spots on the leaderboard, this is really, really big for their teams and really what they can take back to their regions and allow a lot more growth, because I know that there's big eyes on India as potentially being another big growth market for PUBG.
Yep, and again, you know, I felt like they'd be able to do a bit better than their previous PNC showings. Technically, they have already, obviously still in 15th, but, you know, you're going up against teams that have got crazy wealth of international experience, as well as a lot more experience in terms of tenure, like years behind them. So it's slow pace, slow going for these teams at the moment. Canada, though, should technically be above 16th.
Yeah, okay. But they're getting closer. They're getting closer. Just 2 points away now. All right, looking at this circle. Okay, we've got Oasis pretty close to center. Then there's going to be the hillsides just to the south of it, where we've got Norway, Finland, all that other stuff. Turkey's going to be playing off the side of it. Another set of, like, pretty big hills. Most notably around where Denmark's going to be playing. There's some verticality that really pops off over to the southwest. But it is flat to the north. We keep Oasis in, but we juke over into the east, where Ukraine already has a foothold.
That's not good for neutral. They know now they're going to have to thread the needle and go through some of these teams, or maybe they crash into Oasis. What are they going to do? You can see them on that northwest side at the moment here, already in cars. They weren't exactly pre-driving, but they were ready to go as soon as that circle did move. As we take a look at a predictive path on how these teams might move things forwards now, as this could create some conflict. But the one thing about those hills along on the south side of Oasis is that it can harbour quite a lot of teams, but a lot of it is nade bait. So you can have some devastating damage come your way if you're not careful. And yeah, neutral will come into Oasis.
But they had eyes to go more south to get across the road, then pulled off of it. I think it's because they saw Philippines or something else like that, and they wanted to set up position to maybe defend out Philippines in a rotate. They still have a doozy that's on the other side of the road, but now Turkey is going to be coming down from high ground, potentially into Oasis. Canada's going to be back wrapping behind them. External from this one, we also do have a couple of firefights. As you can see, Denmark taking shots into Malaysia while they've got Argentina right on top of them. But Australia has to come in from the south. Chinese Taipei, India, Turkey, and Canada all really have kind of dicey rotates here.
normally I'd be like, oh yeah, this is a great opportunity for neutral to get some kills on the board against Philippines, but that's absolutely a lie considering the overall leaderboards right now. Philippines has been great. They've been doing really well for themselves, so I don't know for neutral so far. They have to find their feet underneath them here as they are now in Oasis. Meanwhile, KE going up against Canada, trying to hold them out. Canada being slow on this west side. Monty starts things off against Chinese Taipei. Xavier goes down. Not a bad one to take down at all, but there's more reinforcements coming forwards, and Monty is gone just as fast as that. Lulu and Zeno take him away. Should be able to get Xavier up, maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what Australia wants to do from here. As Chinese Taipei with this long wrap, it's going to feel good because you managed to get away from the cluster that's over into the west. But guess what? Guess who's shooting you now? Oh, that's right. It's Ukraine. This is not the way you wanted to approach the circle.
Ah, yes. The Eye of Sauron that sees all and, unlike Lord of the Rings, doesn't let the ring through into Mount Doom. Actually just stops Frodo in his tracks, takes the ring, and conquers the entire world.
Yeah, it just runs back over into all the Elvish lands and burns down their cities just to get Frodo early.
It's the bad ending.
It is the bad ending. In Chinese Taipei, you're getting a bad ending right now because, yeah, you did manage to dodge out Ukraine, but now you get Denmark. 2 still up. Where do you even go? Next up on the gauntlet is going to be Malaysia, but there is at least a stop-off dip if they can get there.
Guys, why didn't they just fly them in with the Eagles? No, Ukraine's already shot the Eagles out of the sky. They're gone. Lynx AMR straight to an Eagle.
It's not even a Lynx, man. He was just a straight-up M16 coming from Hackatori. Shot them all down. No, they don't even need that.
At 800 meters, I'm like, how do you hit those shots, Hackatori? What are you doing? The Eagle falls out of the sky. Oh my God, we're going Oasis. No way, no way, no way. Please.
Okay, so good news for us is we get Oasis. Bad news for everybody in the southeast. That means that Ukraine has to move, and Great Britain's got to be right on top of them. Argentina's going to have to make a rotate. Finland's caught up looking at Turkey. Neutral, though, already inside the circle, feeling pretty good. Philippines have spotted out Canada, and that's going to be 2 easy shots coming up from Aya.
He's been the MVP of this squad so far, doing so much work for them here. And now Canada might feel the sting once again. Shinboy, though, does take down Alec. Here comes Philippines for a little bit more, though. And CJ do finish them off. Canada down and out in 16th. As clean as that, and can get Alec up. But I will say here, Matrim, this is our new Circle 4 fully in effect. Normally, it would completely shift away from that water in Oasis. Now, it's still in. There's still a chance for Oasis finish.
Okay, a couple of big movements. India's got to figure out how to get in the circle. Argentina on one side of them, at least some cover, but this is not going to be inside the circle yet. Denmark also gets some vision, throwing in some assistance. There is nowhere to go, as it is just a spattering of Indian players all along the hillside. You managed to make it in, Saipal, but that is just going to allow you to get knocked by Norway.
Yeah, okay, so if anything, if this is to follow for the leaderboards, next is Japan on the chopping block, we'll see. As we just work our way up slowly. It might be Australia, though, as they've walked into the Eye of Sauron once again.
Tig.
The effects does go down from Tig, okay.
They managed to do something. Somebody has managed to hurt Ukraine slightly, or at least slow them down. Where do you go, Denmark? It's going to be Argentina other side. Malaysia's taking the shots. MT does get the knock on to Gustav, but Tig, man, you're kind of trapped over here.
Oh no! Oh, he's switching, he's seat swapped into the nades, Tig! Oh, dear me! Down in 14th in this game. At least Diffex has gone for Ukraine.
Yeah, I mean, this is small victories right now. Neutral actually making an aggressive play onto the Philippines' positioning. This is a hunt for points. We saw them kind of go for a more aggressive stance. Aduzi's kind of playing external from this, taking shots down. It does manage to spot out Alec. That's going to be more as Chinese Taipei now eliminated.
Interesting. Feels like this fight was brewing for quite a while, and Aduzi took a far-off angle on a 3-1 split compared to the rest of neutral, and has found an off angle here against Philippines in quite a smart way. So that's actually kind of causing Philippines to slow down a little bit. Gonna have to get that recovery down, but now Aduzi will rendezvous back with the rest of the team. So not a bad start there for neutral.
Oh, a little mini rivalry as it is going to be Finland and Norway lined up against each other. It should provide Argentina a capability to sneak in, as well as Denmark right next to them. A couple of nades coming out making it a bit scary, but Finland! Sata does spot out Techers. That's going to be a nice knock, and now Norway is trying to rally back together. Gene's way across from everything, trying to have a side angle to defend his teammates. Could provide enough to slow down Finland, but it is starting to get spicy down there in the south. As Argentina does manage to spot out what's going on with Denmark and eliminate them.
Nicely done by Captain. Really well done to shut down Denmark on that move. Denmark felt a little bit desperate on that south side, but again, they know that for day one, they were completely done and threw in that top A. Now it's going to be Great Britain also on the march here to try and make something happen, going up against Ukraine on the other side. Do get hit by Runax here from Japan, though. Shooting some shots in from downtown. Just back off a little bit. Technically, they are not in the circle here, so Great Britain's got some work to do.
Finland making the more aggressive push, does find another one. 8C is going to go down. That means that Norway has to surrender the territory with the circle pop. It means that James is also pretty centered onto the circle. Finland's going to be inside a good position. Not really too much else that they have to worry about. Turkey, though, has to get in the circle pretty close to them as they're being held out by Kazakhstan. So a potential firefight going on over there. But Great Britain, who's been on a come-up today, now lines up against Ukraine, who is weakened. This could be really big for Great Britain, allowing them to start stepping into range to go after Turkey on 3rd place.
Still hunting it down. They've got an opportunity. I think that what's important is that, okay, so they see Boosty get knocked as well. This might trigger a response here from Great Britain pretty fast because they knew Defex was down earlier. They knew that Ukraine was weakened. Now they know they're even more weakened. They're only just concerned about pushing on forwards. But here comes Neutral now. Trying to crash on Philippines, trying to make something happen. CJ with a pre-nade as well. Some spray goes down. It's not bad at all. He does take down a doozy. Aya down low from Levante. Neutral needs to clean this up fast and get these reses on.
Oh, they've got the angle into it. Picks it up, and there you go. They should have time to get the reses. Japan's trying to get involved in a lot of stuff right now, and I think that they're going to pull away from this. Just go eyes onto the circle. Great Britain has an option now with Japan that went more after neutral. They have a path to get into the circle themselves, but it looks like it's going to be a clown car run-in, and that never feels good. Just 6 points now behind Turkey.
Well, they're super cautious about this because they know they've got one car, but they also know it's Hakatori if they've been kill feed tracking, right? Yep. So they know he's lurking somewhere, and they know exactly what he's capable of. As now he's charging up an A, they're all in the same dip. This could be absolutely disastrous if this connects, and he's going to go for it. It could be a triple. Oh, it bounces off, but he does get one spray on Specs. Michael goes down as well. They know what he's capable of. You cannot underestimate this man.
T-Bone getting cooked right now as it is just Hakatori against all of Great Britain. This is contained. He's fine. He's got enough cover back behind him. He just wanted to double check that nobody was going on a rotate from Malaysia getting involved. That is his vulnerable angle that he has to be worried from. Neutral makes a send into the circle right in between all of Japan. Could be a problem, but Hakatori has a push coming after him. Does manage to get another knock.
Oh, Michael finally finishes it off, but look how many problems Hakatori alone just caused Great Britain. Yes, they might feel safe, yes, but they still want to be able to get as much in as possible. Going up against Hakatori, no small feat whatsoever. Neutral now, blue zoned. Batulins should be going down. Here comes the rest of... Here comes the rest of not only Japan, but also Kazakhstan to try and shut them down. I didn't realize it was going to be 2 teams pushing them, but they're doing a great job of shutting down neutral.
Yeah, Kazakhstan's made the focus onto Japan. They want to get control over these angles. That might buy enough time for maybe neutral to get their res back up. Looks like what they're trying to commit into right now. Actually, no, just trying to get their meds back up. Sorry about that. Just one up on them. Finland, though, just a couple of points back behind neutral. Luckily, though, Chinese Taipei and Australia both already out, so neutral still has some breathing room to work with. It's just about how much more can Finland get. It is just a wrap coming in from them. Finland has to fight their way into the circle where Turkey is already defending them out.
Yeah, unless Lou survives deep into the late game as a single snake, they're going to have to do something pretty big in the next game, right? There's a world where the barrier becomes effectively team neutral here. And as much as they were trying to make a meal of it up the north, there is also a world where Denmark will be majoritively to blame for pushing them off of drop spots, pushing them into uncomfortable rotations.
This is big. If Finland can stay alive here, car flips up. Big problems. 2 down for Finland. Just 1 up, and it is going to be 2 points behind Team Neutral. But that 1 is Corexi. Can he make enough happen here?
It does make me think as well for the last game, does Denmark try and finish what they started, right? Because if they
finish,
if they've done it 2 games in a row, why wouldn't they try for something in the last one as well?
Yeah, they have the option to go after the finish as well, so they can actually be just kind of gatekeepers of whatever they want. As United Kingdom getting involved in Japan. Japan did actually manage to rally pretty decently and stop out Kazakhstan, but the flank coming up back behind from the United Kingdom just causing a big problem for them.
Lou now trying to find himself still some room to work with. I think the teams have kind of forgotten about exactly where he is at the moment. He's going for a bit of spray down against Michael. trying to find himself a way on in. Sunny side up does take down T-Bone though, so it really is going to be on Michael to try and do something for this. Finds himself a spot in some of this shack, but beyond all of that, I think, you know, the blue's still pushing you here, Michael. You got something to do, mate. Oh, find one.
Sunny side up goes down. Japan gets eliminated. Michael manages to find it with some assistance from Kazakhstan on the other side, but blue zone's going to be enough. UK is eliminated in 7th place, but just 6 points now behind Denmark. Argentina nipping at their heels with still 4 up, though.
Kazakhstan, can you make a run here? Because you've got some decent spot on this northern side, as well as to be able to play into these hills. And teams of players are being cleared up in front of you as well. So this could be huge for Kazakhstan if they're able to keep things going here. Obviously, making a change from day on day. That pays off, man. What a run that'd be.
I mean, Malaysia is just, what, 4 points back behind Kazakhstan right now, so we'll have to see. It is going to be Argentina that gets most of this circle, Malaysia in the east, Kazakhstan to the north, and Turkey just kind of in that northwestern area, but looking to put themselves in the middle of it all.
Yeah, I think the south shift might have actually scuppered the plans here of Kazakhstan completely. Not only that, but Turkey was actually looking over their way and actually putting in some damage as well against this, really slowing down any potential moves the Kazakhstans could go for. They're trying to take the high ground above this position to try and look down on Kazakhstan, but now Kazakhstan walks into the waiting arms of Shen, an MVP here from PGS, getting some shots, very importantly.
Argentina at 8 kills right now, climb back up in that 4th place position, so this is a big game for them just to get clearance. Kazakhstan, though, and Malaysia, where my eyes keep getting drawn down to, we're so close, just 1 game left after this one. Who can get the lion's share of the points? Turkey is going to have to fight their way into a defended Argentina, and also with 1 player from Kazakhstan just trying to keep an eye on what's going on with Shilla to the north.
It's always Shilla. Every time I look over the top right-hand corner and it's Turkey, it's always Shilla. Looking strong as oat. As now, Emirek's going to try and do a little bit more with it. Got Malaysia trying to find themselves a little bit more of a defensive posture. They know that if they can get rid of Kazakhstan, they might have better lines of sight that they can take hold of towards the north as well as the east. But now, here comes Turkey, making the transition, trying to go across the road.
2 players now down for Argentina, has opened up the center of the circle. A lot of duress now coming onto Argentina. Malaysia's trying to capitalize off of it, flanking in back behind, but they don't have the angles to work with just quite yet. Argentina can't make too many big moves because Turkey has managed to fight their way into the circle. It's just going to be about how we can see these counter moves come up from Malaysia, and can they get active? Do they see the opportunity in front of them, and can Malaysia exploit it?
Unless it's a UI bug, they're running out of ammo as well. He only gets 15 shots left on that mini, so gotta be careful, definitely. 30 shots left in the AUG, and all 3 of his members are down. So there might be a world where he's got no other answer because he'll have no more ammo.
Okay, Malaysia, this is your opportunity. Can you see it? Now jumping up into 10th place. 1 point now back behind Kazakhstan. Argentina still just trying to hold on for whatever they've got. Turkey has managed to rally themselves back together and center control. 2nd place, fighting for position and respect, while it is going to be Malaysia fighting for their livelihood.
Yeah, this is going to be either the tyranny of Turkey taking down Malaysia or Malaysia's best chance, best opportunity to get into the top 8. And with the leadership of Shen, obviously, what a star he is on the international stage. And Turkey is taking away kill points from them as it all bleeds down as well. Yeah, I think for Argentina, with no bullets left, he actually loaded his mini shots into the AUG. He's prioritized the AUG alone.
Well, his angle of approach could actually spell some problems for Malaysia, but Malaysia is very focused in trying to pick him up. It's all about making sure that this solo goes down, but Malaysia doesn't really have the best positioning to go up against Turkey at the time. Turkey's done a great job of getting positioned very close to center, but it is all going to come down to Shin creeping closer and closer into that Turkey line. And if Shin can pop off, which we know he can secure a good setup for the rest of the squad and really take all of the aggro from Turkey.
I appreciate the R8 players. I appreciate Vega Esports and what they were able to do for qualifying for EWC. Qualifying will maybe just be a denial or maybe a knock into... No, there's no way you can get this now. You're gone. But this has to be Shen stepping up. This has to be a PGS MVP stepping up for Malaysia, stepping up for his home country. He normally plays for a Chinese organization. But Shen, you've got to do this here against Turkey.
You see it. He doesn't like the angle, realize the fact that he's been spotted out. It's all going to be about how big of an impact he can make off the start of this. Ninth place right now for Malaysia. This could be the game that turns it around for them in the biggest of ways. They've been fighting tooth and nail for every single point, but Turkey is in and entrenched. They're running a separated 2-2 with control over everything in the center. Lots of damage. Shield goes down. That's going to be Meta-B that finds it all to start.
Yeah, it's the perfect strike from him on that 1-versus-1 down on the south side. Now, flashes go forwards here. Shen, though, what can you do? Can you lead these guys to this victory? We will see now. Marco already finds AJ. They're all picking up a position, but MT starts things off again with a little bit of a trade back against Code Marco. What can you do, Shen? You need to find an opening here, and you need to find it fast.
Side flanks coming up from Turkey, realizing that they've got a full contain onto Malaysia. Celtics playing for one side, it runs right down into the face. They find the shots. Turkey manages to take the victory, and Malaysia still right on the cusp.
A tough circle for them to play out against Turkey, taking the high ground there away from them, and Shen had no answer, unfortunately. But yes, for Turkey, another easy secure for them, getting across the road in a very strong way. Let's talk to Gibson and Mark about this one. Gibson, it is the boys here again, subverting my expectations from EMEA, looking good across the 2 days overall.
Yeah, Turkey are playing really good. Look, they took a few maps off. You know, they were kind of slow to kick things off, but that's a great performance for them. I think you said it on the cast. Every time you look in the kill feed, it's Shilla popping off. And it looked like Argentina that game won, Mark, and then Shilla and Code Marco just said no.
Yeah, look, it's such a big... It's the thing for that team. If you can take Sheila out, they kind of fall apart. And it sounds really weird because everyone on that team is an all-star as well, right? They have the capabilities to do it. But for some reason, he's just kind of shoulders above the rest. And at that point, we were talking about this, guys, and we said actually we thought Argentina might convert it over. But for Turkey, James, they just stopped him.
Yeah, really well done. And again, in not common terrain, right? Like, it's not often we have the water of Oasis in for as long as it was, and therefore it's not often we get towards some of this hillside. We get towards this hillside from time to time, Matrim, but not quite here. So for these teams to navigate around it with this road still in play, a little uncommon.
I mean, we actually got to see some Oasis. I'm excited about it. There was a firefight going on.
Yeah.
The Tulans and the rest of the crew from Neutral fighting over there. It was a very dramatic game, specifically just all coming down to this road hillsides, where it was essentially two different arenas. We had the Western and the Eastern fronts all just fighting against each other. But Turkey, for as competitive as they've been, this is their first victory, isn't it? This is their first chicken dinner. It's all just been consistency. Like a lot of second places, but I think this is their first.
Even the 17-kill one, I think, wasn't actually a victory overall. But I have to ask the big question, because you brought up Neutral. And Gibson, I'll pose this to you to start things off. One game remaining. Is Neutral going to make it?
Well, they've got a target on their back now. Like, we know Denmark, they're chasing them. They said, I think Avenger said they're too good of a team to let them qualify at the weekend. So we know they're chasing them. We know Ukraine want to get rid of them. And we know that the teams on the cusp will want to deal with them too. If anything, I'd say Finland are probably getting away lightly because they've got the most friends in this lobby. They're the ones that I think they know that everyone else is going to go for neutral, so Finland might just sneak in.
We're truly playing the politics now. It's like, okay, this is Eurovision. Who are we going to vote for? But of course, Mark, it is looking dicey, right? I thought maybe the path, because I was talking about how, you know, they'd moved up towards where La Cabrera was, as you take a look at the numbers coming in from Turkey, and that could have been their path forward, especially with a circle like that, but didn't quite work out the way maybe they wanted it to.
No, it does come down to this last game. For me, the big question is where does neutral now drop? We're going to Tego for final game. Do they take a normal drop spot? Well, the last two games we've seen actually Denmark be aggressive to their drop spot, and the last game take it away completely. So they have to rethink what they're going to do. Capitan, he had the Lincoln hat though, boys. He had 2 out of 2 with it as well, which is outstanding. So I can't. I see a world that this last game's going to be a bit chaotic. And Matt, I don't know about you. I think neutral are not going to make it in.
The way that they're playing right now, it definitely feels that way. It feels like they're just kind of lost in the sauce of everything that's going on right now. They're finding points, but not enough to secure them distance away from squads that are having pretty big come-ups right now.
You bring up an interesting point about their Tego drop. I know that we're looking at all these things, but there's very interesting stories going on behind this. Because their normal drop, Gibson, is very split. So if you were even able to just drop on one person, like alone on that normal split northeast of terminal, that could be crippling.
It could be, and you know for a fact that if you do catch a solo, that blue chip's being destroyed. It's getting taken out of the game. I asked Mark, I was like, do neutral go for their normal drop spot? And Mark was like, no chance. He's like, there is no way they're going to drop north at terminal. It's just not going to happen. So I don't know how they approach this game. Like, they've got the players. Like, you look at the resume that like even Batulans has over the last 2 or 3 years. They've got the resumes, but it is just the pressure is going to be so high right now.
I think you're totally right. I mean, technically, you know, those players from those kinds of drop spots on Takeover have a really good track record about getting good results on the board. But if they can't go there, if they once again forced into a bad drop or a bad position, that could be all that matters. But there's so many teams that are still in the fight here for these spots. We're time to go to a break. When we return, the final game of PNC Survival Stage.
So you can hit by that bell. Hit whatever you want, bell. That's a giant leap for earbuds. And a new way to play for glory. Arctis Nova 7 Gen 2. The app called the biggest cheat code in the industry is here for PC and console. It's got real-time audio control to do crazy things.
Okay.
So use it, abuse it, you crazy person. It's the new gold standard.
The Ultimate Battle for Survival features 24 PUBG All-Star teams from around the globe. The PUBG Nations Cup is back. This year, things are getting a massive overhaul, so you can do more than just watch. You can dive right into the action and earn a reward. In place of Pick 'em Challenge, a brand new event pass and PUBG Fantasy are coming directly to PUBG Battlegrounds. Beyond just spectating, here's how you can jump straight into the in-game action right now. First and foremost, a stunning lineup of items created to celebrate PNC 2026 awaits you. Anyone can earn them simply by completing event pass missions starting on June 17th. Not only can you get free outfit sets and G-coins just by participating, but purchasing event pass PNC 2026 also unlocks exclusive rare items, including Panzerfaust and mountain bike skins along with various outfit sets. Notably, the PNC 2026 pass includes standard gameplay missions alongside exclusive PUBG Fantasy missions, such as finalizing your fantasy roster or spending over 90% of your budget.
Wait, Malta? I know, but why are we looking at me when you said it?
Hello everyone, welcome to another sit-down game time with Bella. With me is Team GBR or United Kingdom. Hello guys.
Hello.
Yeah. Did you guys say GBR is a mouthful?
Yeah. Too much confusion.
Alright, today's game is Never Have I Ever.
Okay. Never have I
You guys
ever.
all know that game. We should decide what the penalty would be first.
No dancing, please.
No dancing?
I was like a tweet. You get a tweet someone? Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. We pick it as a collective.
Because it's only 4 of you, we'll start with 4 fingers up.
Alright, never have I ever been to Italy.
Oh,
You haven't been.
So you don't put a finger down?
Yes.
I have.
Thank you, Chico.
Yep.
Thank you. Wonderful. What a leader.
Okay. Never ever been to Malaysia.
You've been. We went last
Listen,
year.
put a finger down.
Well, you've been like 10 times.
Okay.
Never have I ever smoked a cigarette.
Ooh.
No one smokes cigarette.
Michael, are you? What finger are you on now?
Wait, I can't do that. Fingers don't work that way. Never ever ate octopus.
Oh. You've had it?
Yeah, wait, I'm not. Never have I ever mortared my teammates.
Oh, okay.
Why me?
What?
Malta?
I know, but why are we looking at me when you said it?
You've
lost.
Yeah.
I've not lost.
Face is lost.
That's whatever.
Yeah. I'm just happy that Fex is here with us today. What a ball of joy. What should we make Fex tweet then?
Oh. I'm supposed to picture with no context.
I'll do Scorpio pose.
Thank you for joining me, Team United Kingdom. Wait, say bye with me. Bye.
Battleground, your management budget will grow even more abundant. Bonus points will be awarded for special milestones, such as first blood or securing 2 chicken dinners. Most importantly, you can designate one team on your roster as your most supported team. All points they earn will be boosted by a massive 1.3 times multiplier. Make sure to carefully choose your ultimate trump card. Rack up points and climb the global leaderboard. Amazing G-Coin rewards are waiting for you. The first place winner of PUBG Fantasy will take home a whopping 15,000 G-Coin. The G-Coin rewards scaled all across the standings. Even if you don't secure the top spot, there's absolutely no need to worry. G-Coin rewards are available all the way down to the top 50%, but keep your eyes on the leaderboard until the very end. Just keep in mind that rewards can only be claimed after the tournament ends from June 29th through July 7th. Event Pass and PUBG Fantasy are entirely new ways to take your tournament experience to a whole new level. Assemble your dream team today and walk away with various items and G-Coin rewards. The fate of your team is now in your hands.
Six spots feel already very decided. Ukraine, Turkey, Denmark, Argentina, Great Britain, and the Philippines. But which two more teams will join them is the question. Let's talk about it. I'm coming to you, Gibson. Who are you looking at to be able to join those teams out of who's left?
Well, you posed the question of Finland and neutral drop early. Do the teams in the chasing pack have what it takes to close that 10-point gap? And the only real teams that you think maybe could do it are Australia and Kazakhstan. And even then, that's a reach based on how they've played over the previous 8 maps. Like, they have a lot of work to do.
Final thought, Matrim?
I just gotta say, I have faith in neutral. You can do it.
All right, let's get to it then. The final game, will they prevail? We're about to find out as we head over to Gibson and Mark for all the action.
Last map, Mark Power and Darren Gibson on the mic to bring you this one. And Mark, are neutral going to get over the line? Or do we see a contender from the bottom half of the table stepping up?
We're going to answer that question in a second. Let's see where they jump out. It's going to be critical.
Ask
I
me
think
that
he's going to go
question
late,
when
and I
it's
think he's
over.
going to go airport. I think he's going to go airport, because you got to remember, Victoria and the Twisted Minds used to drop, and they've tested this sort of late drop for this flight path. It looks like it might be the case. Denmark haven't altered to go for them as they go for Palace, and for Team Neutral they do go late. So are they going north? No, they're going south actually. They're coming out very late and they're going down towards the south side.
Yeah, well, you have to remember that Canada dropped airport last time on Tego, so that's probably why neutral have gone so late on this one. As we have a look at Shilla, Melody. Outside yeah, he's there. But I'm going to ask you a question. Outside, well, maybe they're not, but outside of the previous, the big teams, outside of Ukraine, would you put Shilla down as like the best performing player outside of like the guys in Ukraine?
Oh, it's such a good shine of light, right? After PGS and watching them in the circuit, they're not performing really well, and you have to look at S2G and go, there's big question marks around that. And then you come to this event, Shia does so well. I think you go away as a team and go, how do we rebuild an S2G? What does that look like? What does the Turkish rosters comprise of? Because they've looked pretty strong.
Well, it's
oh
been
my god, these...
Yeah. Tiggleton thought they were AFK. Tig thought they were AFK. He was like, 4 points, 4 points, guys, 4 points. Oh, wait, no, they're moving. Let's back off. Because we are one of the teams they don't like. You know, you've got Malaysia, Kazakhstan, Chinese Taipei, and Australia in that chasing pack. But it is such a hard ask. And, you know, you look at the previous map where Turkey managed to get that win. I think that Turkey, getting that win was a real bad knock for Malaysia. Like, Malaysia needed that victory.
Look at the mini-map, look at the little feed. Norway pushed Levante out. Watch the blue chip going towards the car. And for neutral, they're not in a position that they can go apply pressure to this straight away. They're a little bit further afield. They are still obviously down, but they're on a 2-1 split. Aduzi's closer towards Team Turkey, and Batulin's and Lou, where they're really far down. So a disconnect between neutral and their Insti players are free. I think I only can answer the question now. I can see them not qualifying, and that pains me to say that.
Well, it'd be a shame. Like, if you look at the biggest stage and you don't have players like Aduzi and Batu playing, it is going to be a big dip. Marco, he finds Ermac, that's the kind of the highlight of how they won that on the top. But I feel like for the likes of Malaysia, I said it before, not winning that map was a massive knock to them. Because if they had won that, Mark, they would have been right on Finland's heels.
Yeah, not sure for the kill feed side. We were now watching. Huge knockback from Shooter, that 1-2. Or you look at that last map though, Gibson. They're qualifying. Both the teams are qualifying. For me, in that last circle, Malaysia and Kazakhstan went. They're the big contenders for that final, that penultimate game.
Circle shift does kind of work towards neutral, by the way, for those of you who have got that feed open. So it's circled around terminal and airport, so it is going to be over on that eastern side of the map. So teams like Canada, India, Japan, all have quite a ways to go to make their way inside the zone. Like, if you're looking at teams that need the points, Malaysia are center circle right now. Kazakhstan right beside them as well. So you've got teams that need the points in the center of the circle early.
Yeah, and it's going to be a cut-off and a line that's going to maybe move. Interesting, Finland obviously is there. Nice start though from Norway as they're chasing down kills. Turkey has worked its way down on that sort of southeast corner, and Aduzi though is definitely stuck behind enemy lines. As you can see now, Metabay not too far away from him, but a lot of these other teams have to get caught on rotation. Canada now crossing past with India, and I feel like the final map is ensured destruction, and K-Mine open things up, and Adam gets a confirmation.
It's a wooden spoon fight. Both of these teams in touching distance. Canada don't want to be last, either do India, so they're going to hunt them down and try pick up those kills as Adam will take down Snipehall early for the Canadians as they continue their traversal. Runax looking this way as well as Japan. Spot out Canada. Japan have a chance to play spoiler here as well, but they really only played one map this PNC, Mark. The majority of their points came from that one win.
Yeah, Japan needed a good game early on in this day number 2, and it hasn't come just yet. India try and chase down Canada, but Canada already leaving after picking up 1 kill already. They might just again continue to work their way towards scrap that India opportunity, and it's an unforgiven mid-up will fall.
Yeah, can't quite bend the bullet around the terrain now, but that was nice there from an Unforgiven. He hits those shots onto Finna, and India managed to pull one back. So Canada, they will continue on as a 3 as they wrap around and spot out those India players once more. Remember, neither of these teams want to finish in last place, but I would take this fight, Mark, because of the fact you've got the ability to, with the blue chip machine right there, you can easily take the fight to India and try get Finna back.
But this is the thing, right? For me, especially with the introduction of the blue chips, it's not about winning the fight as a 4, it's about winning the fight. And then, as you say, as long as you win the fight, you get the opportunity, whether it's 1, 2 or 3, you just have to have one person standing to be able to put those blue chips back in. Norway, on the other hand, they are hunting. Hands are in hand. They're going back towards where they got the kill on neutral. They are sweeping this south side, but neutral have tied up, and Turkey have played away.
Yeah, Argentina's Capitan just back from a holiday inside Europe as well, Mark. He spent some time. Oh my word, that was nasty. But you know, he spent the last few weeks in Europe. He was in Rotterdam for a while at the TwitchCon event. Then he actually then went to Italy to do some exploring before he went back to Argentina. And looks like that little break did him some good. He's come back and he's played really well over the course of these 2 days.
And they're in so much control at this point of the map as well, right? They were holding out, they're applying pressure. Unfortunately, him gets caught in that zone there. And gets back up, and then again it's the links that causes so much damage to everyone around him.
Yeah, so Capitan in Argentina, they're pretty much unbothered, focused and flourishing in their lane over by airport with only really Turkey anywhere nearby them. You have Finland rotating from the north side, getting really close towards Malaysia and Kazakhstan. And if you're Kazakhstan, if you could see the map like we could, you do not like this idea of Ukraine just rotating pretty close by, do you?
No, Kazakhstan need points as well, Gibson. Sometimes compounds, especially on Tego, don't result in those points. So Ukraine, yes, are sort of out
nail
towards their
tech
west.
this.
They are taking, they're taking that opportunity to take the high ground. But if Kazakhstan keep their head down, they're not going to qualify.
Itzy, by the way, did you read that? Dream job as a nail technician. That's what he wants to be. Whenever his career in PUBG is over, his sunny side up looks towards Adam. The VSS not quite hitting the shots that he would have wanted over that. But Adam will hit the deck and go prone once more. It's Japan still not giving up on these potential points on to Canada.
No, but when the knock comes through, they're going to notice another team, and there it comes. Sunny side up, puts Adam down. So now for Canada, they know they're not fighting Team India anymore, and it's a full four-man. Jimboy has to try and hold off. K-Mine obviously takes some huge amounts of damage, though. And then he provides cover, and oh my god, it's a barrage of 556. He finds K-Man.
Oh my word, and the Dacia is about to blow as well. So Canada leave it all down to Shinboy in the blue, but Japan, they wanted to eat. They're on 27 points, hoping to get 2 more. Maybe just putting themselves in with a minuscule chance of qualifying through to play at the weekend as well. But Mark, remember, the new zones closes in 15 seconds time. I actually love it. I love the increased tempo, but that Panzer misses. But I'm loving the way these games are speeding up.
Yeah, quite a lot of these teams out and these players out. Day number 1. They have now adapted. The zone goes back towards the south, so Team Neutral needs to turn back the other way. Canada will fall, and unfortunately, they will secure their place in 16th place here for the survival stage. Japan, they will get their meds back on. They are in the blue. They need to get fighting. In the Philippines, well, they start fighting. And James, falls down. 80 jumps out, but falls into a barrage of 556, and he gets flushed instantly.
Yeah, Philippines, they're going to deal with Norway now, and Norway down to just 2 players left alive. And this is another team that are on that cutoff point. They're in 34 points, and with 2 players left alive, it ain't looking good for the Norwegians in this map. And looks like Aya, he's going to go check out some loot, and maybe might even delete that blue chip. We'll see what Aya does.
Yeah, you got to think that'd be the case now, especially when they've taken 50% of that team. Norway obviously now needs to play slightly different, but again, they're a team underneath the cut-off line, so again, a team that needs a lot of opportunity, a lot of kills going their way. First, he's taking an opportunity to take to the skies and farm information, but with 153 points, he could fly around all map, and it would make no difference to them qualifying and not qualifying.
Yeah, look, fairest he can just scout out, let his team know where they are. I think that Ukraine only had 2 games all tournament where they didn't really get up to double-digit points, so they'll want to finish this one with getting a win at the very end, as Finland go hunting down Opchen here from Chinese Taipei. He manages to get in behind the shack, but Finland, remember, they're 45th place. They are the cutoff. They need to take advantage of whatever points they can potentially get, and Savior ain't going to be one of them.
I think Chinese Taipei have played really well today as well. They played a level of aggression that we wouldn't have expected all the time, and it's worked out. We saw the third party action on Rondo. They were eager to try and take fights. Yes, they got stopped a little bit by that kind of EMP, but it was a good step forward. They're putting out kind of aggressive. Now, they obviously need to look for the qualification. They are one of the teams that I'm looking at has the capabilities to get across that line. We'll have to wait and see.
Opchen will stop to get that medkit after taking that little bit of damage, but it looks like Chinese Taipei for now will just hold this compound on the north side of the circle. Finland rotating by on the other side, just by Argentina, over towards the east as they make their way down towards Kangyong, which is held by Turkey. But so many teams that need a big point game, Mark, already finding themselves in good positions.
They are. We are looking only for a top 8 to secure their spots now into the grand final. Where there are already 8 teams awaiting. Malaysia, a team which again is on the wrong side of that cut-off line, so need a bit more of a calmer game from them, but they're in a good position. They are centralist, a bit more towards that north, and that river divides west versus east.
Empty, and Malaysia just locked into this position. Currently 9 points off of Finland, is sitting in 8th place. They're just north of centre circle, pretty close by to Australia as we look at some very early. I wouldn't even talk about these stats. Way too early to talk about what the winner percentage is.
9.24%. I'll take that.
But Mark, do you see that NEU neutral have just found themselves in the south side of the circle with the Philippines right beside them and Turkey just to their north? I think they might play the edge of Kangyong and just try get into the placements.
That keeps them alive, right? It could be very difficult for teams to crash in. They'd have to be desperate for teams to work in. And the only teams that are going to be doing that are ones that are above that line, like the Ukraines, like the Turkeys, Denmarks, etc. But they're on the other side of the zone, unless they do a crazy rotation. Gustav leading the charge. They thread the needle, but they should stay pretty much on this sort of west side.
Yeah, Denmark didn't chase neutral. I think that They knew that neutral weren't going to drop where they were, where they normally do in this map, so they just couldn't give up on Palace and what it would give them. But they find themselves now in a very good position inside this circle. Turkey the same, and I like playing the edge of Kangyong, especially facing center mark, because it makes it that little bit easier to get out of a city. We always say it. It's easy to get into a city, it's much harder to get out of one.
It's that commitment. Don't commit too early. I think neutral haven't got any other option but to kind of enter into here. Historically, if they're above the line, they might have stayed on that hill, and that fight between them and the Philippines might have unfolded. For them at the moment, though, it is the right play. Diffix, though, gets the first opening knocked though. Vard will go down. T-Bone's there to exchange. Diffix will fall. The rest of Ukraine too far away.
How often have UK and Ukraine fought over the course of these 2 days? Great nade. T-Bone threw it exactly where he was going to run to. Fairest is going to kind of fall damage, and that leaves it all down. Ukraine eliminated. And
UK.
I'm sorry, Turkey fans, but I don't think you're going to catch their point tally. I think they will still be comfortably in top spot, but for UK, they'll get these reses off, and man, what a comeback day it's been for them. I think James was onto something, right, picking them up for fantasy.
Yeah, that makes me second guess what I've done now. But Turkey's still up there. That's what I'd take. But it does take a big piece of the puzzle off the board. Now, yes, they are qualified, but they're qualified in the context that they could do whatever they wanted, Gibson. The fact they've gone down early, there might be a sigh of relief around the rest of these teams. Zone is moving in. Rest of these teams now look to try and find the zone. Finland, though, in that northeast corner, trying to hold off as Japan work their way around.
Yeah, but that's only one Japan player. The other ones are a bit further south, and Sata needs to be very careful now that they don't push on up, because you've now got to go through Japan on your pathway into the next circle, unless you wrap all the way down to IXC, who's playing on the very eastern side of the circle. But I think Japan, they're going to just post up here for now, play the rice fields, play the dips, and 30 points, 15 off top spot. They're going to believe there's a chance, but Mark, I don't think so. And Correxi's going to compound the misery. That's a big knock, and if they can get this point here, it actually, I think, will put them above NEU, because they've actually won a map.
And get that conversion. Now, make sure it doesn't get stolen away. They get another one. Scav was feathering down. Eyes on the prize where they can. The zone should shift. How much of that exposed to town remains? A big proportion of it. And neutral already clashing here with India as they crash on in.
Yeah, Batu picks up that point. So just as Finland managed to get a point, there's an instant rebuttal from neutral, as they're both on 47 points now, which you said earlier you think's where the cutoff will be lying thereabouts. As Batulans will confirm out an extra one, putting them back above Finland for now. This battle for Kangyong, they've cleared themselves space, and I think thankfully for them, Turkey aren't going to push this way, so they should be able to live and survive for a bit longer and maybe pick up more points on India.
Yeah, Turkey looking at this as trying to get a final win, right? They're not being, I suppose, chaotic as they could be. They're being disciplined in their game approach.
Argentina
finds Saturday as they apply pressure on towards that north. Finland do not need to go down right now. Corexi launches a barrage of 5.56 out towards the high side. Here comes the one. Hey, he needs to make him to waste, and he does. Gets away just in time.
Yeah, but this is big now. Scav's got to stay here. You've got to try stay alive long enough for reinforcements. That nade's going to bounce the other side, and Capitan will find another. Corexi falls. That nade deals them in Finland are down to 2. 47 points now is the current standing cutoff as Capitan and Emmy will combine. Lou, he'll deal with India. He'll take that knock, thankfully, for the extra points. And that piles on the pressure even more to Finland.
It does. They have to cut and make running towards the zone. What worries me is they might look at the town, and the only entry point they've got is straight onto neutral. Other teams now enter Malaysia, being one of them. Again, a team looking to try and get on the right side, though. Shen, the final player for them, and he will be the final survivor only as they work their way into the combat.
Yeah, this is not good for Malaysia now. They're on 36 points. You could probably count them out now from getting the win as well, which opens the door for a Kazakhstan, Australia, Chinese Taipei all in with a chance. But Argentina, they're pushing the north. But look at Australia, Mark. 2-2 split. One's holding Kazakhstan, one team holding Chinese Taipei. The teams that are all around each other in the leaderboard are around each other in the server as well.
Yeah, it's a difficult circle, right? It would be a one team surviving at the end. You got to think Tig's been in buyer's crates for a while, so expect him to be stacked. Finland looking to try and get the boys back as they cut themselves back towards the line, but they're cutting their way towards Argentina. Get in front, but they've been bleeding. They put up. He's in their car. DraftKings playing sneaky. IXE on the other side. Would about to find him. He jumps out. Hits the click of the grenade, but DraftKings will just sit and wait.
Yeah, dips out of the smoke for now. Dips back in. There was angles found. He takes himself down with his own nade. And Scab will toss another one in. Confirm the point out. Every single point matters. As that moves on to 48, you've got a nade being thrown from afar by Pipa. They're following it in. This is Finland's last stand.
Run! Finland, you have to make the last stand. You've got to stop the push, and it is a huge barrage. Kobe's blue zones come over. One blue zone only will not be enough. And Argentina, well, they're down towards 3. Chinese Taipei, as I said before, they like the third-party action. And unfortunately for Finland, they're on the cut-off line, but they cut themselves short. 12th place here on the final game.
Opens up the door now for the teams in the hunting pack. Kazakhstan, Australia, Chinese Taipei, all with a huge chance to close the gap, but it is still a lot. Like, you're talking about 12 points minimum for any of these teams to catch Finland, who also have a win in the back pocket. So the placement point buffer will be a nice one for them, Mark.
Look at Batulis. Batulis has left the compound. He's left the safety of the city. He's gone towards that northeast corner. He's trying to take anything he can get at the moment. Chinese Taipei can see their bodies below. They've got the BRDM. Pipa launches a barrage of flashes forward, though. But the grenades come through. A little bit of damage, but it's not enough to get the knock.
Chinese Taipei will look to ride this BRDM into the weekend if they're able to just keep on surviving. Argentina one side, Australia the other. By dealing with those two teams, you open up the door, but I think that Savior, he's just scouting. He's just moving in neutral. Sent it, Mark. You're right.
They've sent it, they're gambling, but they're gambling on getting the points. Turkey finds Oba, though. Capitan launches shots towards that BRDM. Chinese Taipei just farming information. And for Team Neutral, they've inserted themselves in this fight because they want to get as many points as they can.
Yeah, Batu's going to fall, though. Beamy gets the knock, and all of a sudden, Neutral are in a bad spot. 2 players left alive now, and Beamy will confirm out that kill as Chinese Taipei just don't know where to go next. But the rest of Neutral gone back into Kangyong. They're going to just try to survive into the placement points. They know if they can get 2, maybe 3 more points, they're 100% safe, but it's looking good for them now, Mark. Tiggleton with a huge knock on to Zeno as Australia start to make their stand.
Oh my God, they're up towards the cut-off line. 37, Team Australia might be there. Grenades come over the top. It looks like a confirmation. They get another one on the board here. And actually the run over is not going to help Chinese Taipei. They had the power of the BRDM, but it's not enough. And the continued force of Australia.
Yeah, Saviour's denying. He's going into the blue. He's getting out of there. He knows that it's Australia, and he doesn't want to farm them or give them the opportunity to get more points. Now, it is phase 5, so you can see how much damage he is taking every single second. He is going to try to deny to the blue, but surely you can see the BRDM. You know where he is, but Saviour, this is big. He goes for Luke, but he misses the first shots.
Flood gets a massive hit onto him. There's another point out there. Tiggs looking to try and work his way in. Saviour's got to be there. Gets the mare back on. Goes back towards that BRDM, but he's outside. Dev zone is ticking, and it's doing huge amounts of damage. And Kazakhstan pins down Tig.
Oh, this is big, but Monty's there for the instant knock on the other side. IM5 is going to toss the air over, gets the flush. Chinese Taipei will fall as Saviour goes down to the blue. The nade from IM5, the first one's not good enough. The second one should be much better, but Flood is still alive and kicking. Can Monty get Flood back up? Tiggleton is down and out, though. 6 kills for Australia, 2 players left alive. It might just be a bridge too far.
Might be a bridge too far. 6 kills at the moment. They're on the 40. There's only a small gap between them, but there's a big gap between them and the zone. Monty looking to try and get Flood back up. IM5 doesn't look like he's got the heavy utility just to kind of end this fight here. It comes back from the other side, but here's a crater, and it goes bouncing towards the town.
Yeah, and if you're Monty and Flood, what's the plan now? Do you try to make a stand inside this turf, Kazakhstan, with just 2 players left up alive? So you think about that, that's 2 points up for grabs for either of those 2 teams. Then the placement points will start to get involved as well. But as you can see, IM5 has got no throwable utility, as on the other side, Norway are battling with Team GB.
They are. He does get the first opening knock. Michael finds Monty at distance, though, and Norway do go down, so their chances to go to the final are ended. 10th place, though, it's Team UK still try and hold out. Australia able to get the Reds back on, so they're back to a 2, but again, it's phase number 6, and it's 3 seconds before it starts pushing.
Yeah, the blue zones are going to start moving. The only thing that might help Australia right now is the fact that they do have a P90. They have some level 3 gear that might just give them the boost that they need, but it's still such a task. You've got to look, 1 more spot, 1 more team falls, that's 1 point. That brings it down to 7. If you can just survive, maybe find 1 or 2 kills along the way, and that goes for them and Kazakhstan, you might just fall into the finals.
Yeah, but for Kazakhstan, they're trying to work their way in, and Turkey have set themselves up for an end game. So they've set themselves up for the shot. Australia setting themselves up now for the push. They've worked their way down. Metabe has the first one, but they pull up and they pull down. As Iron 5 puts Monty, Kazakhstan will fall down as Flood keeps Australia in the fight.
Yeah, but the vehicle's going to explode, and thank for him, it flips the other way. Monty is down and out as we get into the placement points. The volley is perfect. Gustav gets it done, and now Malaysia are the only team that could possibly catch Finland, but it ain't going to happen. They need 10 points, and Shen is inside Kang Young, so I think that Finland have just about made it, and it's taken a day to miracle for them.
Oh, yes, they're a world. Yeah, Shen, big player, but he will need some huge plays and more importantly, some huge kills. So it is looking like Finland might be that 8th team punching their ticket to the final. But for now, Turkey, as I said, set up for the fight, and now chaos can unfold. Team UK had an outstanding day. Denmark throwing everything they can in it as well. They got bodies down, and Gustav, though, looking to provide the final blow.
So Mark, big question. What's the next Falcons team meeting going to go like now as Gustav just wiped out Tig's chances of making it through the weekend? UK deleted as Gustav will pick up a few more alongside Ketter. But yeah, how much money has Gustav just cost Tiggleton? That's the real question.
They didn't take him out, so don't give him that, all right? It's all love and war. That's what it's for. They're competitive. Remember, Gustav is having fun with the guys.
Yeah, the guys weren't having fun with Gustav there, I'm not gonna lie. As we've got our top 4, Malaysia up to 40 points, and so think about it this way: they survive 2 more teams falling. That's an extra 2 points in the bank. They still need to get a couple of kills and these extra few spots if they want a chance. So really the question is, do neutral want to cause havoc to Finland? Because they could take the fight to Shen.
They could. I think they are actually going to push towards Shen, but I think neutral, despite that push out, that stance to go take the fight, yes, they did lose Battlegrounds, they had to play back and they got defensive. They've just kept out of trouble, and the fact they've kept out of trouble, they find themselves now above that cut-off line. Big brains.
Where's the headphones?
Where's the cowboy?
Where's the headphones? But you know what? GG's to Denmark. They've guaranteed at least 3rd place. They'll be playing at the weekend. Turkey, they were phenomenal. 2nd place, maybe 100 points still to go with Shen. Knows.
No. Not behind door number B.
But now he has to open the door up again, and that's going to give away the footsteps.
Yeah, he's heard him. He's gone back. This is one.
Oh,
my God.
what?
A doozy! Had an absolute doozy with that. He pulled that pin, and Shen just stood in shock and awe as what unfolded in front of him. Team neutral taking the opportunity to say goodnight, and a doozy wanted no more than the final 4.
That was a real doozy of a need there, wasn't it?
Oh
From a
my
doozy.
God.
Lou now, last player standing. He's going to try take out the Turkey team as he gets that nade ready. Celtic's going to go for the res, but one well-placed nade could be a problem. 3v1v2 at the minute. 2v1v2 of active standing players. But as you can see, it's finishing just outside Kang Young, and Denmark are casting their nets.
I just can't get over that, Gibson. I just can't get over that. I can't move forward in my life. It's a 3 versus 2 versus 1. A doozy is out. Lou, final player for them. Denmark are looking for a clean sweep despite being the aggressor for Team Neutral in the last 2 games. They are trying to play their own game, and they're playing it well. Centre dot should be going their way. Turkey needs to clean up, Lou.
Yeah, said Turkey want to get up to 100 points, and it is so doable for them. Denmark on the other side, they want to finish with another victory in what's been a really good performance for them and all the fantasy owners of this Danish side. 5 kills for Gustav, 3 for Ketter. They're just waiting. They've got the circle, they've got control. They're happy for Turkey to get the kill on the Lou, and then they'll hope that their position can beat the numbers.
There goes 1, there goes 2, and for Lou, he ends in 3rd place. It's a 3 versus 2 position. Actually, I'd favour Denmark. Gustav in a good holding pattern. Ketter, though, trying to take the line of sight towards him. Gustav even's not... I don't think Gustav has been spotted by them. Maybe he's had a couple of shots for Turkey. They have to make the charge towards centre zone.
Well, Gustav can just sit in the corner of this barn now and, feed the information. All Ketter has to do is be a distraction, right? Ketter's entire job now is to stay alive, but don't fall. Keep all eyes on the rock, and that will allow the Gustav flank on the other side cause a problem, but I think Gustav's just revealed his position as well by tossing that nade.
Yeah, damage has been done. The 3 versus 2, so the number advantage is in the eyes of Turkey, but they have to get out of this compound. They have to get over the wall. Smokes will stop line of sight. Gustav takes the opportunity with that to make the run. He gets caught here by Celtic, but lucky enough for him, he finds safety just behind, and his shield gets up. Also, just in time for Gustav.
Oh, big brain play, but the Panzer said, oh my god, the fence stopped the Panzer. Gustav has stepped up closer, got the angle on the other side. Metabee spots him out, Metabee gets the knock on to Gustav, leaving it all down to Ketter. But can he be better than this Danish, or this Turkey side? He's holding the block, he's got a Panzer. One good Panzer could change everything.
Yeah, Gustav obviously has been confirmed out, so the information will be denied. They've got a few crates, a couple of craters to try and hold out. The Doritos will now roll forward here from Turkey. Ketter is waiting, the spray goes through. He's now going to swap towards the grenades. When would that Panzer come out and cause an explosive action? But Ketter backed up against the wall, but looking to try and take everything to Turkey.
He's got another nade in the back pocket. He's got a BZ that he can toss as well, but you can see the flash grenades being thrown his way. The nade finds 26 damage, forcing a temporary retreat from Turkey. A Celtic and Code Marco move, but keep an eye on the flank on the other side. Metabee is just holding the angle.
Oh, I thought that grenade was going to go. Code Marco and Celtic both go down to one shot, so they have to go back in towards the smoke, find safety. Code Marco goes to get his hand in the cookie jar of the crate, and Ketter still unhinged, unmoved, and still holding the line.
Yeah, and they get themselves back up. They've found a few med kits they're keeping alive in the fight. Metabee's position, I don't know if Ketter saw him, but we can see him in the corner of our screen. You can just see the elbow sticking out from the edge of that, and he can see the gun. He can see that rifle of Ketter's as well. That's going to be a flash grenade trying to be at a peak, but Turkey are trying to play the patient game.
He doesn't need to move. He doesn't need to move. They have to move first. He's been caught with a flash. Ketter's lining up now for best space. That's some damage that come from the blue. Goes round the other side. That might be catastrophic for him. He has to manage the fight. Good defensive smoke. Comes out from Code Marco. That's going to deny a line of sight opportunity for him to drive forward, but it's not going to be for long. And it's Turkey back to back. 18 kills, and Turkey close out day number 2 Gibson with a bang.
Turkey yay, or is it Turkey yay, James, as they get the win to close out the week, to close out the week. Yeah.
I'll take that double back-to-back here for Turkey. Awesome stuff here by them. And I think ultimately, when you see this code town, it proves me wrong here, Batram. I had doubts about them, but they have been able to show fantastic strength day on day.
I mean, the fact that they managed to make that push, you and I were talking about it while we were watching everything go down, and it felt like it was everything just in the bag for Denmark at the time, but Turkey managed to find the ways to navigate it, played it slow, changed the pacing of the game, took the 1v1 as they needed to, and then slowly pushed it into the 1v3. Just an overall very heady game coming out of them, and a lot of teams as well, you got to give respect to, that were trying all the way until the end just to secure, but the 10-point differential on this last game, just too big to usurp.
Yeah, well, this was a tense one, obviously, for teams like Australia, for teams like Kazakhstan, trying to scramble. They end up running into each other as well, Gibson, and all for naught in the end.
Yeah, I thought for a second when I saw Australia's position and I saw the 2-2 split, I thought there was maybe a chance something could happen, but it was really just mutually assured destruction between them, Chinese Taipei, Kazakhstan, basically everybody making sure the other team ain't going to make it. And then, nice for Gustav. I know Tig was dead at this point already, but making sure his Falcons teammate's not going to be playing it. Why do we have to show that again for poor Doozy?
I agree. Why you gotta do him like that? That's like the most uncharacteristic doozy mistake of all time. But you know, because you even see the UI element of cooking an aid. But
I just love how Shin was watching it, sees it, is like, what? Picks back around and then instantly dies. Like its brain stopped for a second and allowed Turkey to just murder it.
Did that really happen in front of me?
Yeah, not common at all, but sometimes it happens in the heat of the moment here. But neutral will move on importantly, Mark, considering, I think as soon as they didn't go to the normal drop, I think I was talking to Martin as well while this was going on, saying they were in their heads. They didn't want to kind of go away from Palace as well. It's such a strong spot, but I mean, neutral, they made it work in the end.
No, they did put that kind of that testing drop from Twisted Minds, though, that's south and in and around that kind of airports. And they played well. I was worried at certain stages. Obviously, going into a city is always dangerous anyway. And for Turkey, they obviously want to play to the win. So at any point, Turkey could have gone, actually, you know what? We know neutrals in the town. Let's just go sweep through and deny. But for lucky enough for them, I also like the play from neutral. They did try to go get points. They left the town to go take the fight. They lost Batulins. And actually for them, though, they knew they had to try and play out for placement. They cut tail. They went back to where they came.
You know, now that I think about it, Gibson, this is a crazy win for Turkey, considering we think they might have not been at their PCs at the beginning of the game.
Well, you saw it. They were just falling, and Tig was like 3 points. Tig goes 3 points. I'm going. Then you see the parts start to go different directions, and Tig was like, "Yeah, I'm back. I'm not going at this at all." But man, like what a 2 days. They told me they were going to play like Predators. That's what Sheila told me, and they backed it up. Like, I didn't see it coming, but I'm so happy it did turn out that way.
Yeah, Metabay taking a man of the match as well. Awesome to see kind of the growth of this team across just 2 days alone. I mean, of course, yesterday technically was better, but still able to step up to the plate here with a back-to-back towards the end, taking down some big names along the way as well. 990 damage coming in from Metabay for this one. So 18 points will go their way. Denmark, from the position that they are normally dropping on Palace, 14 points go their way. I think, Matchroom, when you look at Denmark, I think they're also a big threat for that grand final.
Yeah, they really have figured out a good game plan for themselves. This is going to be a team that I'm expecting to do high-end competition. Turkey IE, I have to admit as well, I came in a little bit loose on them. I thought that they would do well, but not as well as they've managed to do. So overall, it means that it is going to stay neutral and Finland right on the cusp. Australia got close but couldn't quite close it out. But big shout out today to Finland and United Kingdom, who started off at 12 and 13 points. Massive day for those guys.
Never had a doubt, never a single doubt in my mind was the United Kingdom going to rise to the occasion. In fact, I messaged Michael during that game and said I never had a doubt, and he told me to do one. But here are the 16 teams that are going to be representing in the grand final. We do have a one-day hiatus, but then we will be back for 3 days of a grand final. And of course, it will be in what effectively for PUBG is kind of a historical arena, because this is the same place, Mark. We hosted PNC 2019 all that time ago. Crazy.
Doozy looks to try and get the win again. Well, they do have a day off, and obviously for them, they have to try and figure out what the game plan is for those teams that are coming in, those 8 outstanding teams that already qualified towards the final. Now, for obviously the teams that are about to go, actually we jump into this.
Team Ukraine, I got Firis, and of course the man with 3 jobs, coach, babysitter, and interpreter, Coach Alrain, for the interview. Hi guys, good to see you. Well, you guys just dominated today, 153 points, and we just saw 100 kills. Why was it so easy for you guys to dominate this time?
Чесно кажучи, це просто занадто легке лобі для нас просто. Але думаю, в фіналі лобі буде краще. Скоріше за всього, не вийде так сильно домінувати, але ми будемо старатися робити кращу гру для нас.
To be honest, it was pretty much the easiest lobby we've played. So that's why we performed so good, but in the finals opponents will be stronger, and he's not sure if we'll be able to perform to the same level, but we'll definitely try to do the same.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you faced a lot of teams that you haven't played against before, but as the IGL, you were the #1 in total kills and #1 in total knocks. Curious, how did you manage to do that? Was there something different in your approach that made it for you to, play your game and kill those other people in game?
Чесно кажучи,